Oh my gosh, I know, right?
It was absolute quality.
It was. Okay, welcome everyone to Amateur Hour Commentary. Wolf Craze here. Joining me is Plank, aka Mick, aka I don't know how many names you got over there, brother.
Dickhead, bellend, knobhead. I can draw your list if you like. It's not a problem.
Oh, goodness. So we have two matches today. We'll realistically only be able to cover one, depending on how fast this one actually goes, which I don't anticipate this one being quick at all, given I always say, I always try to compare the teams and see, if they're of equal caliber. And I typically see repeat offenders and hacks being of similar skills. So I anticipate this one maybe going the full length of time. But the other one is going to be at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be German Grandpas versus Reigning Havok, if I recall correctly. And the Death Squad and Manamana match is going to be postponed to next week, which you guys saw at the starting soon screen. So anyway, that being said, ready for this, dude?
Well, I've just turned up on the off chance I might be able to get on telly, but not even had a shave, not even had a bath. I stink, mate.
Me too. It's a good thing we don't have smell-o-vision.
Oh God, yeah. I've already took my socks off. I don't just start showing toe pics. For God's sake.
I don't even know if we had smell-o-vision, we probably wouldn't have an audience. I'll tell you that much.
If they add it into VR, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? If you go into these dungeon crawlers, and all you can smell is shit. That'd be amazing.
I was one of those investors into something that was like a smell-o-vision sort of thing, and I saw production lines and I saw things happening, but there's a strong chance that it was like a farce. It seemed plausible, but oh well.
I mean, there's 4D cinemas, weren't there? Have you been to a 4D cinema?
I have. They're incredible.
I enjoyed those. But like you say, when you got the bloody wind and spray in your face, that was fabulous. But obviously, you don't want water pouring over your headset when you're bloody unless you fell in the bath while you're playing the quest. But other than that, it'd be fine.
I remember it was like a Bug's Life experience or whatever, and when bees came around, we got a little poke in the back, and I was like, "Oh my God, this could actually be used to kill someone!" You gotta be careful. Jeez Louise.
I remember actually saying that. I know, obviously, don't go too long, but Alton Towers, which is one of the biggest theme parks in the UK, had this particular ride, but it wasn't a ride. It was more like an experience. So you were basically strapped around in this circle of other people, and it would go dark, and things would happen, and obviously things were vibrating, and obviously you could feel people poking you in the chair, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What?
It's just crazy.
That's what you want. That's what you call full-on immersion.
That's what most experiences should be like. I think that would be. I think that would be revolutionary in terms of theme park engagement and even theater engagement. I mean, it's expensive, but in the end, I mean, if you make it worth the cost, then it's you'll get more people going.
This is it. That's what it all boils down to, doesn't it?
So that being said, nice conversation there. Who do you think is going to win? We got repeat offenders versus hacks. What do you got? Any predictions on this one?
Where did they end up in the regular season last year or last season?
Well,
where did they end up?
If I recall correctly, they were both relatively low. Let me see if I can go in the Discord and.
I thought they ran about mid-table.
Let me see.
Because I know you're doing the stats for week 1 and week 2.
I am now. Yep. Let's see. I don't know if I can actually pull that up. I'd have to go into Gaming Synergy to check that out.
Don't worry.
But
I can't call it because obviously repeat offenders. I think they had a good run towards the end, didn't they? They sort of started to improve over the season.
They were one of the teams that was up and coming along with German Grandpas. They started out slow, but as the season progressed, you started seeing a change in their play style. I don't know if it was a consequence or a result of extra practice, or if they just kind of found their groove and they started meshing a little bit well. But they do have slightly different rosters. Speaking of team dynamics, and why don't we check those out and see who's on the list here. So for repeat offenders, by the way, it has been updated So apologies, repeat offenders, that it took me till week 4 to get that situated. But here we are. Repeat offenders, Disgruntled, Dung Beetle, Biggin, Justin Johnson, One Red Man, Solanite, Nickel, Slick Rick, Senator Spellman, and Killing You Hardly. I don't know specifically who's going to be playing tonight, but this team is looking good. They're looking good this season. I expect them to be in the top 5. I would predict. So yeah, that's making up repeat offenders.
Like you say, it's fine margins, isn't it? I think at the end of the day, there's just fine margins between the games. If they are close, it's those little turnarounds that, if you get that that initial early plant on the SND, or you manage to turn around a losing position in hard point to a winning position. It's these sort of games that can be absolutely to the nail, and we've seen them as of last season. There were some absolute stormers. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I mean, like I say, I played against Justin yesterday, and I know he was kicking ass all over the place, and that wasn't even in the game. But never mind.
Yeah, Justin is he's a standout player for sure. Even looking at the stats, he's definitely leading his team in general stats for the most part.
Yeah.
And over on Hacks, we got Nizmac, Dirt Nasty, Vicky, Violent Veronica, who's going to be our perspective, Padflow, Dan Solo, Captain KV, Randy Leahy, Karmatic Wolf, and Captain Domino. Just another crazy lineup.
So these guys kindly invited me to play for them this season. Then they realised how shit I am, so they decided to say bye-bye, come back next year. No, not really. No, I mean, to be fair, like I say, I couldn't commit to the amount of training and times that they need people to be available. So really, I've got a soft spot for these guys. Plus, they're all mad as a box of frogs anyway. We always have good times when we join up for especially if you play Among Us. Jesus Christ, they are the cheekiest, nastiest people on the planet. In such a loving way. If you ever go against KV in Among Us, just expect to be chased like a Benny Hill film. It's just
my gosh. Come on now.
Me and BB have been on the end of one or two of those in the past. But no, like I say, best of luck to both teams. I think it's going to be incredibly close. If one team dominates the other, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I don't anticipate that happening myself. I foresee this being an absolutely close one. I would even argue to say that they have very similar strategies, and it's going to result in very close score lines on all game modes, not just in TDM and Hardpoint. I think Search and Destroy is going to be relatively close as well. As we see Hacks here posting up in the marketplace, we could actually probably go over, check out repeat offenders and see a very similar thing happening, but on the opposite side of the map. You can see
this so often. Now. It is a...
Is that what would happen?
Is a standard gameplay strategy. We're not coming to get you. You come to get us. And I've noticed over the last few games that not high scoring at all. And once you get ahead, it is literally just hold on to that lead.
Because realistically, both teams are at some point going to say, okay, we need to get an elimination here. We cannot have a tie. We're going to have to push. And whoever is going to lose that first exchange is going to force the other to make the move.
It is becoming so much more strategic now on this. It's almost to the same level as S&D. You've got to get the points in, so you're not going to get the wins. So to them, they've got to have their strategy and a plan B if that doesn't work, which I know some teams probably do struggle on.
Now, in this position where repeat offenders are, I think they're primed to have someone loop around Green Hall and come from the fountain side and maybe pick someone off that way. Now, it is a risk because it's very long walkway from the Green Hall to the fountain. And if you don't use the fountain as proper cover, you can get picked off. But I think they are primed to get the first elimination and then back off from there. Because right now, Hacks they're just not going to move, and I don't foresee repeat offenders moving either.
I don't think so, but I follow them.
Good luck throwing it over there, young man. Dear me. No, it's Veronica, isn't it? She's either got very long arms, but like you say, she's got a catapult or a trebuchet. That's what we need, a trebuchet. Oh.
It's going to be
so
all black.
cagey this, isn't it?
Yeah,
Super
we're gonna
cagey.
That's correct.
Yep.
So
So the only
cover each
disadvantage
other's
we
backs,
don't
use
have,
your
we don't know if
fucking
anybody's pushed. And like you say, if somebody's creeping around
Ooh,
and
look at the
scouting
I
opponent's position,
I really think one of them is going to have to make a move. They're all very, very.
incoming.
They're, okay, here's the
Oh.
first
By
push.
ambulance, two
Okay,
more.
Disgruntled does
There we
get
go.
tagged. She gets tagged twice, actually. Hurt a little bit.
They're gonna.
Oh, and there's a double tag by a grenade. Well
they got me.
thrown.
right now we're in.
Okay.
But Veronica was able to take out Biggin. That grenade did eliminate someone over on Hacks, so it's a bit tied right now, 1-1. I commend Hacks for pushing out and making this engagement live, because
I
otherwise,
think this is just at one as well.
Nice.
So
Good job.
One was
That's why you fucked.
hey, Veronica's she's got a good position here. Gonna have to be very, very careful. I like the use of the ambulance, but now everybody's pushing, and this could be their folly. I mean, trying to push around that blue car as quickly as they were is a problem.
Grenade's coming our way.
Oh, and Disgruntled with a nice shot.
Grenade in front of him. I'm back with grenades.
2-1.
plus you've also you've got to be and we're already like 3 minutes in. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ronan's going, I'm having none of that. Thank you very much.
I think the wall has fallen. I believe engagement is going
There we
to
go.
intensify from here on out.
Plus, obviously, we're going to have a switch of spawns as well, so that's all going to throw that into the mix as well. So everybody's got to reset and start again. Yeah, Veronica and Dan are
Someone get me back up.
leading the charge.
They're on Main Street. I've just been
No,
shot.
it's up to them to hold.
Yeah.
Right, it's put me with you, so.
Yeah, but with Hacks feeling a little confident with their position, I suspect they're not
Yeah.
going to move here.
Oh yeah.
And repeat offenders, we can at least see from Disgruntled's perspective, she's sitting back at market. Now, depending on the score line, which we unfortunately don't really have.
I think we're still in single figures, aren't we? I think it's only about
so we're still
6-5,
just gonna
6-4. I
settle
don't think it's.
Yes, in 3 minutes to
We're
go.
not talking
You know
big
that they're
numbers
gonna-
here.
they'll
They're
break
holding
again.
top. They don't want to come down.
That shows the mutual respect though between the teams. They've obviously played together before. They've obviously know each other. You know, playing single player team matches and whatever.
No, no,
So,
I
you know,
haven't moved.
these guys know each other very well.
Question is, who's going to make the next mistake? Because we already saw one mistake happen. There was a push,
Come out with grenades.
and it seemed to go a little bit in favor of both teams. There's a good even split in trades there.
I'm going to be
But-
seeing that side.
But they say when it kicked off, and it seemed to be an even split.
Okay.
Let's see Veronica. She's slowly starting to make her way around with teammate in tow. She and Niz going to see if they can get a nice flank here. Realistically, they just need to get a couple of points lead. Good clearing of the corners.
For clear. They must be in market.
If they can sneak around here, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. This doesn't seem like a very long haul, but when you know that they're going to be holding the market, it's very.
It's a funnel. It funnels you in, yeah. The problem is it funnels you in. You've got no little nooks and crannies to hide behind, so.
You got one measly trash can, which does nothing
Yeah.
for you.
They're 3 up.
Oh dear. There's not even any tidbits in there, like a rotten apple core to nibble on. Shocking.
Nothing.
Nothing. Go flashing in.
Flash.
Yeah. Not used enough, I don't think.
No, I feel like some utility has gone to the wayside. Flashes, smoke, stuff like that. Molotovs are used a lot. Here comes Veronica pushing in. She does get an elimination.
Oh.
Steals the marketplace position. Gets into a tag on Disgruntled, I believe. Takes out. Oh, there goes one. Loop around. Can she get another? She's able to take
Yes.
another. Holy cow, she's on a rampage. And that's going to put Hacks in a very comfortable position.
Yeah, we're not going to call her violent Veronica. We'll call her vicious Veronica, I think, after this one. That's, yeah, but V is a quality player. She's absolutely solid as hell. And decent at Gran Turismo as well. So she's a good all-rounder.
Put a gun in her hand and a wheel in the other. And you got some great
Galaxy
theft,
carts,
Veronica.
mate. Galaxy carts, mate. You want to play against her in Galaxy carts? She's lethal. She's an absolute monster.
Me.
All right. It doesn't seem like repeat offenders are completely aware that the entire Hacks team was right behind them.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. Nobody's obviously got
Where they at?
using the wrist tablet for.
There's police
I
cars.
don't know where they are.
for the map. Obviously, none of them will have a 3-kill streak to use properly anyway.
Got him.
So
Cleared it.
Only 10 seconds left on the
That's
clock.
clear.
This is going to come down
No.
to a single-digit elimination difference here.
oh,
They're going in for the
now they're
final rush.
pushing.
Get a
Now they're
couple.
pushing.
Hold him up.
Repeat offenders. What's the score? 21-25 going in favor of repeat offenders.
They pulled that out of the bag, didn't they?
I mean, that is that. I think a lot of it had to do with that last final push on the police
Of
cars.
course.
That's
Yeah. Maybe they were retreating because they got the numbers and they were just running away and then just decided to pick off the stragglers. So
now as slow as that was, the finale was explosive. I think every engagement was like
Come
a
on,
nail
Hacks.
biter because it was a matter of, you know, who's going to come out victorious in that gunfight to put them in that measly point advantage. Like if you look at it, it's 4 elimination difference, man. That's not a lot. That's not even a full team wipe.
no.
I mean, that's crazy.
Again, like I said earlier, it's sort to do with the fine margins. You know, that could have been flipped on its head quite easily. Like you say, just getting those kills at the right time. At the, you know, like I say, if you can go on that run in the last minute, if you're within striking distance and you're losing, you've got nothing to lose anyway. You're either going to lose or claim the actual win back. So, yeah, I think they played the waiting game really well.
Yeah, both teams definitely making it a little bit on edge for all of us. Shell says a lot of people think holding back and camping is not a strategy, but it takes a lot of patience. And for anyone who is so used, especially in a game like this, where it's so fast-paced, run and gun type of arcadey play style, sitting and waiting is very non-traditional and unorthodox, right? So if you're so engaged in public and you're just constantly sprinting around, to get into a competitive mindset and be like, okay, I got to sit and wait. You know how hard that is to do, to like shift.
Well, that's reversing the free for all mindset, isn't it? Because free for all, you can't sit anywhere. You've got to run around like an headless idiot. But in team based games, you have got to have a strategy, you know. And if you've got somebody pissing around running like, you know, headless chickens, you're not going to win because they're going to get picked off, and then that means you're already man down for a few seconds, and then you're basically, you know, you're easily picked off if you've got 3 or 4 of them chasing you as well. So, no, 100% Chel. It's
And remember
a
those
lot of these
hidden
guys
spots
who play
too on
think they're
cameras.
decent. Put them in a team game.
We
Yeah.
use them.
Hey, let's go over to
All right, search and destroy on industrial.
We can
Not
defend it.
going to
Okay.
lie, I think in Publix we were looking for this a lot, weren't we, Plank?
Yeah. I did actually finally get it after you'd gone.
Oh, after I
we
left,
played
so
one,
I
didn't we?
was the factor.
Oh, your fault. You're holding. You've got a little wheel that spins, haven't you? A little wheel that spins like Wheel of Fortune. But no, he came up loads after you'd gone. I thought, for God's sake. I think we had one game, didn't we?
That's you. My bad.
S&D, which was really
Stay on
entertaining.
the building.
It was good, yeah.
No, I have to say this is.
Down.
When this map first came
Oh,
out,
they're in the
I
building
bloody
behind us.
hated
They're
it
coming
because
to
when I
you,
was
sir.
using the move
They're
controllers, I couldn't
coming
get a
behind you.
steady aim because obviously my hands were all over the place. Obviously, over the shorter maps, it was a lot easier.
job, guys.
But over time,
It's all right.
I fell in love with this map. Absolutely
Slow and
fell in love
steady,
with
let's
this
get
map.
eyes.
I thought it was
Yeah, they
clean,
came
it
up
was
through-
beautiful,
coming upstairs,
it
coming
was
upstairs.
high resolution for the
Come
time,
down.
even on the PSVR 1.
All right,
So,
big in.
There's 2
I'm
left.
down.
It's
and I
a
know
very-
a lot of people don't like
Captain and
it.
Vic
A lot
here,
of people
the only
don't
ones
like it. It
Let's see
just
if I can see him.
guts me, to be fair.
Yeah, well, it's a very versatile map, and if
Yeah.
you like it to any other map, it's a lot like Veranda in a lot of ways. Simply because there are so
It's
many
high
angles.
rise and veranda mixed in one, isn't it? If you look at high rise and veranda,
So should I
you've
try to go
got
backtrack?
very
No,
good
B?
pick-off
No.
points, especially off
I think I see somebody.
the boobies, and then
You
you've
should
got the
be
rusty
disgruntled, you'll
septic
be able
tanks
to
as
see
well.
them.
So
They're
you've got a
running
lot
to
of
those 3
verticality,
towers. They're
a lot
rusty
of
dicks
actual
by
corners
A.
as well. You know, with
They're
the,
going to try to go up to the very
with the
first
containers.
house.
The use of containers is fabulous. I love it.
And you
No.
can even see from Disgruntled's perspective, like just crossing a doorway, you have to be careful because of the different
They're on the
angles that
rusty
you
Yeah.
get picked off from.
Yeah.
Down from the rest.
And I
No.
think
There's
that's
no
what it
place
really-
where you are safe
Okay.
at all.
Three,
there
and
really
then there's
isn't.
one over
So,
by
I
A
mean,
just
I
ran
think
out
that's
of the
why a
building.
lot of people have some hard feelings toward this because
They're in
you do have to
firehouse.
play very, very differently. It's not that run and gun play style.
I always thought this would be
There's
more of
only
a
2
sniper's
left
map, but
again, guys.
very rarely, apart from I think it's only Mental Man who uses a sniper at any sort of quality, but you know, this is a sniper's map. You know, when you're on top of the boobs or or any of the rusty tanks, very, very much a bloody hellfire. Okay,
Disgruntled
so
driver.
somebody's got a spot and a half there.
Someone's right there in the bridge building
Yeah,
itself, right underneath the
yeah.
stairs, and they are running out of time. And with only about 20 seconds left on the clock, Disgruntled, I think, is the last member alive. If he is, she gets dropped.
Yeah.
Found him fast enough.
And Captain Domino, the only surviving member, so in the end, it was a 1v1. Really well played. That
1v1.
came down to one person.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say fine margins. Fine margins. This could go to a 5-all game.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem that repeat offenders are having here is a little bit of a delay in decision making. I mean, I can't hear their comms or anything, but they were certainly poised in that central building, which is a really good position to have. And rather than, they had some intel and they kept going for these fights when they could loop around and make a different decision, but instead they're trying to go for these fights and get these eliminations.
I think they're more reactive than proactive, and I think that's sometimes where they play the better teams where they get found out. When they played yourself and Death Squad and things like that, they've got the nous to say, well, actually, we'll throw an extra curveball in. So, but it's a learning curve for everybody. Every time I play the game, I learn something new. I mean, I learned a lot of new swear words last time I played. But anyway, we move on. And that was from some bloody 5-year-old. Jesus. Anyway.
Vicky's down, just Captain.
Well, there's a pretty good plant here. We got 28 seconds left on the clock. The only problem with this interior pit is you have to cover. There's so many angles. You got 3 different openings on the base floor, and then you got the second and third floor to, pay attention to. A nice position here by Disgruntled. We're all tied up 1-1. Really good plant.
Yep, good spot. Good hold.
But you see the gameplay difference there. The first round, they were positioned very strongly in the central building and just sat there for the entirety of the round and gave themselves no time. The second round, they pushed very aggressively like they are now, and they're trying to get to the point as quickly as possible. I think that's the best route to take. They cannot sit and wait and wonder what to do next.
Especially on this map, because you can really get around quite quickly if you use the slide mechanism properly. And like you say, finding the right spots, back in the bushes, back of the office building.
I see one running the back hall.
They are worried about the flank. I mean, Disgruntled had a very good position to catch that person off guard as they came around the corner. That came from good comms, I'm sure. But again, you can see the moment one of their teammates goes down, everybody just kind of stops, and you almost can't do that.
It's almost like they have to reset. Yeah, it's almost like they have to reset the thinking. Say, I've lost one, now I'm going to think something else.
Yeah. If you want one person to sit back and cover the whoever got eliminated, that's one thing. But you still got to make that aggressive push, because that could actually force the defending team to make an error, which actually positions you much better.
Plus, you've got comms anyway. If you've got one person on the camera, you've got...
Good job.
There you go.
Nice job, Spell.
Good.
Yeah, the cameras are very, very important. All right. So now Hacks are going to be on the offense. We'll see if they can bring this one back. They are down by 1. Looks like we are a little bit delayed here. Let's see if I can...
Downstairs planted.
Middle level.
Coming upstairs.
Take your time, go down the stairs.
if I can refresh.
That'll have to be some of his.
Beauty of modern technology.
Yep.
So with it,
I'm
I'm going to go under that little
Okay, you guys in the chat, are you putting any predictions in for the SND rounds? I'm still going 6-5, but I don't think I can call it.
I got one down.
I think these next 2 games are going to be vitally important. If Hacks can get the 2, or even make it 5, 4 all after their run on the bomb.
I'm gonna put a little. I'm actually gonna put up a poll. Who do you think is gonna win the search and destroy? Got about 3 minutes. If you're over on Twitch, go ahead and cast your vote. See who you think is gonna win.
We've got 14 watching, so it can probably come back and draw.
They very well could. 6-4 repeat offender says Shell. We'll see. Nickel and Dung versus Vicky, Niz, and Captain Domino.
Just a minute.
Yes.
Hacks on the advantage. Veronica on the cameras, and they've won it. That's 2-all. Obviously, good comes from V.
Really good even split here.
Yeah.
But you see how quick Hacks was to go for the plant? Like they're just dead set getting to that point and swarming
No
that
miss.
point.
I think that's it. If you've got the the offset to do it, rather than try and second guess or I don't do this, I might get picked off. Just go for it, because I think if you dither, if you obviously have any sort of slowdown, you'll be picked off.
Can I just comment on what Veronica just did there? I mean, she's running with a dual primary. She's got the Chaco, I think, as maybe the secondary, and she just switched so quickly. Did a little quick scope, and then
just
switched
to see that extra distance. Yeah, I think she's bought that off Mental Man, because I've noticed him do it quite a bit as well. He switches between guns, not necessarily firing between the guns, but uses especially on the desert maps, it does give you that extra advantage of zooming in onto those zones, looking into those corners, because sometimes you can't see them because they blend in.
Oh yeah.
So that's a very good tactical use of double primary.
Domino's down. Dan gonna go for the revive. He is gonna have to be cautious about this, as there are a couple people in the mid lane there, probably looking towards his direction, able to get Domino up, at least for the time being. One crossing grenades going in. Dan in trouble.
V1, so
That's it. The timer's down. Just
I don't know what disgruntled can do though. That's the thing. Oh no, they've got a plant. Plant required.
It's probably best not to. Okay.
I noticed on the Discord you had mentioned about the way you plant your bomb out of these areas. I mean, can you explain that to Toddler for me, please?
Sure.
Simple people like me.
So it was brought to the attention of the Chiefs that there were a lot of ways to actually plant the bomb in areas that are distinguishably further away from the intended plant spot. So I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a plant spot on a house up in the office space. There was a way to actually plant it down in the bush on the ground floor.
But it's still within the circumference of the actual play.
So I don't know how they were able to accomplish it, but they were able, it was accomplishable, and people were able to do that. So significantly, yes, it was visible, but it was significantly out of the zone. And so there were a couple that were questionable. It wasn't just house, there were a couple that were just extremely questionable, which led me to think, and pose to the Chiefs, hey, should we allow some of these, or should we just get rid of them all and just force, local airplay? There's a lost or hacked, and now we're going to go back to defenders on the attack.
So that's brought it to 4-all.
And so, it was agreed upon that, we're just going to focus on the main plant
Yeah, it was
location.
2-2, and then they won.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to A this time.
Until maybe that's
Within that room, within that location, yeah.
Probably gonna expect it.
I suppose it's no different to when Firewall Ultra they were sticking
they're already
bloody
running over there.
jammers in places you had no idea they were. How do you manage
Right,
that?
exactly. And you need to double crouch and get all that shit. Yeah, that was,
Damn it.
Get out of
Oh.
the way.
Yeah, or it's upstairs, and then they put the bloody blockers on. It's like,
Got him.
Oh, fuck.
well, repeat
There's one at that
offenders
light.
are getting
Oh, fucking
chopped
A.
down one by one at
Yeah.
this container.
oh, hello. My
Oh,
God,
it's
did somebody just bring the
sad.
Gatling gun and just mow them down?
Yeah.
We go the way
Not
they're
those kills.
spawning.
It was, it was as if they had, thermal goggles on or something. Because I mean, it's like it was shooting fish in a barrel there.
It
Let's
was.
see.
It like it turned up in a bulldozer and just run them over.
And that's one of the risks, though, right? That you run when you run as a group.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
it
mean,
makes sense.
in
And other times,
numbers it's good, but not
God damn it,
that
I'm
close
gonna-
proximity.
and in particular, where there's not a lot of coverage, all you had
One
was
is
the red
in main
container
hall.
is able to
No,
take out a member of
nothing.
repeat
By that
offenders.
one rusty dick.
That's not a great place. That's quite.
One is
That's an
inside
error. I think that's
second
an error.
floor. Two
I put
inside
that down as an
second
error on
floor.
their part, but I suppose if they got pushed into that foray by hacks, then that's good play on hacks for forcing their hand.
They got me red.
One on first floor, one on
Yep,
second
one's on the
floor.
first floor pushing
One
towards
on
red.
the
There
This
goes
guy
Nickel. There
coming
goes
out towards
two
you.
more members of repeat offenders begging to downstate.
Another one right there.
Disgruntled once again left all alone,
One's coming at you.
and she's not able to overcome. And scoreline now
No.
5-3. Hacks looking good for the win. They're on match point.
Never
Yeah,
say
that's
never,
all right.
but they're in match point. So
We've seen reverse sweeps before. We've
It's
seen
at
it
least
Oh,
happen.
not
yes,
a
we have.
complete shutout.
Yes, we have.
So I will take that.
Let's go.
but the
Let's
way
just
hacks are
push
playing at the
right now.
moment, they seem sharp,
Yep.
they seem keen, they seem on it. So I think repeat offenders
Guys,
have
I'm
just
one.
got
I'm bleeding out. straight across.
Dig
I
deep
lit
a
'em
little
up.
here and just try
One's
something a
on
little
third
bit
floor.
different.
Come here.
You can kind of
Phil.
see a change in their strategy. Disgruntled is not going to loop around the back. She's going to see if she can
No.
cut off the
Yep.
cross
The
here.
run across.
I'm watching the back.
Oh my God, she was
Yeah.
able to at least
Oh!
drop
Traded with them,
one
they were
and
vibing
keep
in
another
there.
one in a down state. So Disgruntled gets credit for both of those eliminations.
Wait.
And it's safe
Revive
for
as
the
well.
revive.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's the important
Shoulders
element
down.
of being in that right position to
He's
get
gonna eat
revive
me.
safely, because the amount of times you get a revive, then both of them get picked off.
Ooh, there's two
Oh,
more.
wow!
Third floor.
Slid through and chopped him
There you go.
down.
They're all down by
Oh, get the
Niz. Niz is
samurai
on
swords
second
out
floor.
there.
Just dropped down
Planet,
second
Planet,
round.
planet, planet.
Hack the ankles.
only
They get
one
the
left.
plant.
Beautiful. Yeah. She is the terrier.
Outside.
Nibble, nibble, nibble. Have some of that.
Be careful.
Stupid Chihuahua. Get
Where
away.
is he?
Yeah,
Sacrifice
Yeah.
myself. I do not see him.
Okay.
Have
Where,
it.
where did
Just
you
kick
last
it.
see him?
Boy, see ya.
He was
Disgruntled
up by the
ace,
one
perhaps. I don't know. There's
outside
one
of the
left.
building.
If she can find whoever this is. Oh, they found her though.
Third floor. Just wait
Nizmac
on him.
Slow
Wait
and
on
steady.
him.
with 18
He's
seconds on the
He's coming
clock.
around. He's gonna come
Yeah,
down the
eyes on him.
stairs.
Yep.
Explosion
Oh,
gun
he's hurt.
and
I'm
downstairs.
Ooh, he takes one
He's
more
coming down.
out.
He's coming around second floor.
9 seconds.
Nice.
Nine
Oh,
seconds. Oh, unlucky.
Good shot,
Good
Nick.
effort. Good effort.
Yeah, he's
see?
gotta feel good about that one,
okay,
man.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was steamrolling to just
I don't want to. I don't
just
want
one,
to lose.
one player too many less. Good effort.
One attack.
he's sending a message to Disgruntled saying, "Don't do that to my team again, please."
Yeah. Leave me alone. Don't mess with my family. I'll send my dad to beat you up. My dad's bigger than your dad. Oh dear.
I'm going to cover the
Liz is actually playing. Yeah, yes, she is, Puddles. What do you think? He's only there for entertainment, dear.
He's there for easy points, you know. Ooh, nice play by Veronica. She's able to take out two, but in the process she is dropped.
Yeah.
She's not really in a position to get revived, but she is in a good position for comms. It looks like she's going to stick around here. Bomb is dropped at the red container. There goes Vicky as
Goes
well.
3 down.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Running towards V. I'm bleeding out. So Domino and V.
The defender is looking to tie this thing back up.
The bomb is at the red
As
container.
Veronica is out completely, she's going to be on cams. There goes Vicky.
Still
One person
3-3,
coming up
still
Main
3.
Street. There goes
Yeah.
Niz. Dan left alive, and he gets dropped.
Oh,
and repeat offenders
my
stay in this
life.
game. And we are going to a match 11, ladies and gentlemen. Search and destroy in first half. Not what I was expecting, but repeat offenders are not letting this one go.
Well, you did call it. Like I say, the comeback was on. I did say it would go to a 5-5, so I think we've called it, buddy. We've called it.
Main Street's probably not a bad.
I
mean,
can't call this. I think on the ascendancy, you'd give it to the defeated defenders coming back
They're at
from
the
5-3 down.
office,
So,
outside of the building.
but
Right, so they're going to be coming down.
it only takes a bad move or a very, very good takedown.
Yeah, one
Wow.
little misjudgment and error in decision making
Yep.
could spell disaster for repeat offenders. There goes Vicky, though. She is in a drop state.
Well, this-
A nice pickup here by Veronica. She's hurt, though, and she can't get to either one of her teammates who are down.
No.
Ground floor building.
They got bomb planted, I believe, over in the pit area. 40 seconds left. All of her teammates pretty much are in a down state. This leaves Veronica in a very, very bad position.
She's chasing though. She's chasing.
She gets one.
Oh.
Can she get another? No, she gets taken out.
No.
And there goes Captain Domino as well, right at the bomb site. And it looks like
Yeah, they're crossing the pipes.
repeat offenders are going to take this win on the first search and destroy of the event. And a beautiful
Wow.
reverse sweep. And that is going to put them ahead
5-3
2
down.
wins, man.
That was topsy-turvy. 2-1 up, got up to 4-all, then it went 3-all, then it got to 5-3. But yeah, repeat offenders. Good effort. Good effort.
And I think it's important to point out how difficult it is to regain any sense of composure when you're down by 2 and your opponent's on match point. To like get your team back in a mindset of like, okay, we got to focus up, we got to get this together. Don't make mistakes, better communication, and like just knowing you're down and any mistake is going to result in a loss of this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
This match is like that takes a lot of like focus. So good on.
I'm just looking at the actual end numbers, and they are almost identical across the board. Nickel got 12, Captain Domino got 11, so they were the top two for each team. Then it's 9 each for Flung Poo, and then obviously Nizak got 9 as well. So his margins, it's those fine margins yet again.
Yeah.
So, I bet Tax, I'll not say kicking themselves, but I think they'll be mightily disappointed.
Sure, especially because they were so close. Being on match point, I mean, there's a pressure to try to reverse sweep, but a pressure to try to keep persevering and get that match point win. I mean, that's a lot of pressure because once you think about it, like both teams are in the same mindset. One little mistake and we lose. There's a little bit more comfort on Hax's end because they were ahead and they're like, okay, maybe we can give up 1. But as soon as you give up 2, you're like, oh shit, what do we do? Yeah. And now all of a sudden you're in a completely different mindset and now you're in defensive mode. So,
like I say, and obviously Hax only wanted the 1 game to win. And obviously then that final step over the winning line was just a little bit too much. Maybe they said, we don't have to go gung-ho. And obviously, Repeat says, we've got nothing to lose. And I think a little bit of change in mindset on both teams probably actually swung it for Repeat defense. But, we don't get to have after match interviews like they do in the football, so we can't discuss it. Bring them on board saying, how did that go for you? Or get both captains on for a quick natter.
The hard point on Dojo is always a fun one, and as to be expected, I am looking to see a bloodbath between these two. I don't really know the composition of these teams in regards to who's a point pusher, who's a perimeter player. But as always, perimeter play is going to be that's going to be the tide turner for sure. And sometimes
that's where your team does so well. Because I mean, when I played against you yesterday, the perimeter play was just outstanding, absolutely outstanding. It was almost like taking the piss, but it it did the job. So you're right. You've got to get that mindset right.
And it's difficult sometimes to be the perimeter player and see the point stay gray. Because you're like, man, we're losing an opportunity here. But realistically, once you can get into your mind, like, this is a great position for Disgruntled, but she gets chopped down. Unfortunate. She got a scene going up. One of the challenges with perimeter play is like getting into the mindset, like, okay, I just need to keep them off that point for my team to go in. And if you could do that successfely, which I'll be honest, Paragon has been forced to really play that way because of teams like Carnage, Trauma, and Death Squad, who are, I'll say, they're some of the best in terms of hardpoint play. Like, they're just incredibly well suited for that play style. I would say Death Squad, they probably have some of the best perimeter players in the league, having gone up against them numerous times in publics and in competition. It really forces you to think, okay, maybe I'm too close to the point. Maybe my perimeter play has to be further out. But, that could be the tide turner for sure.
I think people forget that you don't, I've always said it before in last season. I think it'd be nice if you got more people in there. It would actually speed up the counter. Or, if there's 2 of you in there and only 1 of their players, you still obviously have the majority. Because it doesn't really matter. You can have all 4 in there. As soon as I walk in, it neutralises the map. So, there is this, the way it's set up does give you that adoption of that perimeter play. So, but it's good. I think it's very good. When you guys were playing it, it was phenomenal.
They got a turret.
Right now,
but it's all part of that strategy.
Right now, it's been a nice swing back and forth. You can at least see for Hacks, they had correctly 63 points.
Oh, 39-63. We got to.
And it's still in favor of them as their points start accumulating. That doesn't look like repeat offenders are able to get on that point anytime soon.
Do you have a special loadout for hardpoint compared to the other team-based games?
So I play hardpoint and search and destroy very similarly in terms of my loadout.
Right,
See, I'm one of those utility users who uses smoke sometimes, and the reason why I like using smoke in particular on hardpoint is because if you can cover that spot, they don't know where to shoot, right? Like
where you are.
If your teammate, there are a couple of times I noticed my teammates were, that's unfortunate thrown there by Disgruntled.
That's unlucky.
Molotovs
off the top post.
Molotovs are great, but it doesn't always like protect
Coming
your
out of
team
tunnel,
from someone
y'all.
sliding and just eliminating
No.
everyone.
Yep, they're all coming up.
So it's
Double doors,
good
yep, one
for
white
to a
van.
degree, but I feel like
Bang.
smokes can defend your teammate who's already in. Like a couple of times, my teammates have been in prone state, and my smoke has covered them well enough that they
Yeah.
can stay there and not worry too much, and allow the rest of your team to come in and provide that additional support. Flashes are good too, but you run the risk of hurting your team in the process. You know.
Yeah. That's a good point. I like that.
But again, as a perimeter player, like it's difficult if I'm too far away. I can't really get that supportive play in there.
No.
So it all depends.
Yeah.
Unless you manage to actually unlock the bazooka, and then you can just fry everybody.
That's our Schlev, man. That when he hits that kill streak, that 5-kill kill streak, it's just bam bam, and I mean it's devastating. That bazooka
Kaboom.
is something, dude.
Fabulous.
I stopped using it a while back simply because I just killed myself when I killed the other team.
They've got two
Yeah, monastery is taught me a lesson with that many a time. Unfortunately.
Someone can through the double gates now.
But no, I think, like I say, it's having the right loadout, the right map as well. It's not just the right gameplay.
Very true, because I've started. What I really like seeing out of German grandpas in particular, which I know we don't. The scoreline, by the way, is close or is shrunk. You know, the difference here is much closer. What I like watching about German grandpas is they have a tendency to use different guns. The Sterling in particular, my God, man, I played with that just the other day, and I miss how well it plays. It's such a good gun, and watching EOD Meister run with it is always a pleasure.
Yeah. No, I've gone back to the Hurricane for the smaller maps because that's when you're on it, it's an absolute beast of a gun, but obviously crap when you're on the bigger levels because you can't shoot shit with it. You might as well get me fucking super soaker out and say, have some of this! Oh no, you're mouthy boys.
Don't even get me started on the P90, man. The Hornet. Hacks have taken a substantial lead. They have actually regained control of a couple of points for its entirety, so they are well into the triple digits, and repeat offenders have yet to get there.
So they're doubling their home state at the minute.
Come in tunnel, done right beside you.
Like you say, it doesn't take long if you can't finish off to get to that 200 or run the clock down. It's same as S&D.
I'll tell you though, it's 151. I mean, hacks are sitting pretty comfortably. I did see the repeat offenders finally hit the triple digits, but right now hacks need this win going into the half. They had some devastating losses. They weren't huge losses, like by a substantial margin, but they were so close. I mean, that could be devastating to morale. So this win is crucial for them, I think, going into the second half.
They need to get into half time with at least 3 on the board. At least 3. To be fair, this game could have been 6-0 either way. So again, there's a good chance second half they're going to pull it out. So it's going to be close.
Especially going into the second half, hacks are going to be the ones with map picks. I'm curious to see if they're going to have very similar picks to what repeat offenders has here. Oh, nice pickoffs here by Veronica up on the garage. She wasn't able to get elimination of the person on the point.
Such a good spot. Such a good spot, that is. It's ridiculous. Just getting those corners covered is an absolute masterclass. Oh, hello.
And you can see, even when the point goes red or it goes yellow, she wasn't really getting off the point. But here, she needs to buy her team some time to get onto the point. They're at 189.
Yeah. Stem the flow of points to the opposition. That's the important thing. As long as you can contest it, nobody's losing or winning any points on that. So.
Oh my God, Veronica's she's like going off right now. They're doing phenomenal.
She's had too many coffees. She's just going bam bam.
Just stop it. You stop it right now.
Pack it in. You're showing us up. Give over.
Hacks actually getting to the point cap, 200 to 111. Really well played by Hacks.
So what is it, US?
Oh, good effort.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was the Veronica show, by the way. If you've just tuned in.
I'm pausing as this match is progressing. I'm finding I have to pause my mic because I'm coughing. You know that cold that we were just talking about before we
Oh
were
yeah,
live?
yeah.
Like I'm feeling the effects. I'm getting that tickle in my throat. It's frustrating as hell,
I
man.
have to drink this Coca-Cola shite. It's just horrible. I've run out of Pepsi, mate, and I've got to drink Coca-Cola, and it's disgusting. It's like drinking creosote.
Yeah. If I'm gonna get soda, which isn't very often, it's usually when we order out. I'll typically get like a Sprite or something. I like some of those clearer beverages rather than the dark ones. But
No, I'm a big fan of, and most of the UK guys will agree with this, is Robinson's Squash. It's just the most incredible drink you can get. Just basically, drink, water, wallop. Thank you very much. Beautiful, beautiful.
Pepsi is disgusting.
Just looking at the chat.
You know what?
No,
Puddles?
it's not.
You know what, Puddles? You can get out.
Yeah, sod off. See ya.
Skedaddle.
Thanks for coming. You were great.
Nice having you in here, but you're dismissed.
Yeah. We used to like you, but not anymore. you know what you said yesterday, Puddles? You're nice to everybody. You're not really. No, you're not.
That was a PR move on our.
Yeah. No, just keeping on side. But anyway.
So
Neil's in the chat. Hi, Neil. How you doing, buddy? Black Mario. Spezzy's in.
Yeah, we got Spezzy and
yeah.
Black Mario. They're going to be competing. Well, Spezzy at least is going to be competing very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to check that out, that's going to be in about 15 minutes.
Hi, Karen. How you doing, sweetie?
And it is going to be live streamed. So, go check out. I believe EOD is going to be covering the footage today. So, but you'll be able to find it. Just obviously go look for live footage for the Alvo category on Twitch or over on YouTube. You should be able to find it. I want to do a few quick shout outs and one notification, or a couple notifications actually. So I'm going to keep my shout outs short. Repsports.com. You guys already know, you've heard me talk about it. Raise Energy. One of my favorite beverages. If you're living in the United States, not even North America, just the United States, you can go to the website, repsports.com, use promo code AHC at checkout, get 15% off, saves you money, helps us out. I fully recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it if I don't use the product myself, and I thoroughly enjoy it, both from the supplementation, the food, and the energy drinks. They're just fantastic and mostly natural. Of course, not everything in this world is all natural anymore, at least over here in America. So go check it out.
My boobs are natural.
His milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, folks.
It's not milkshakes I need to worry about.
Also want to give a shout out to Gaming Synergy. Gaming Synergy is the platform in which we use to run the league and also tournaments. You'd be unwise to not check it out. Go to gaming-synergy.co.uk. Speaking of Gaming Synergy, our partners, they're also going to be running the Pro League for Firewall Ultra. That is one plug I want to make known. That is starting tomorrow. The first Firewall Ultra Season 1 Gaming Synergy Pro League event is going to be starting tomorrow with 16 teams in competition. It's going to be divided into two groups. And we have our EU team, which Plank is also now a part of, who's going to be helping with the casting. And there are so many events to cover. Obviously, we won't be able to cover them all, but when they do come up, we're going to try. So go over to twitch.tv/AHCommentary.eu. Be sure to follow and catch those matches and support GSPL and support Amateur Hour Commentary. Don't want to miss out. I'm 100% going to be watching those. I cannot wait to see how this is going to play out, man. It's exciting.
It's going to be great. I'm so happy to be involved, actually, because it's something, like I say, I've enjoyed so much with Alvo, and I've actually asked Wolf and Titch and everything I can do a little bit more. So I'm hopefully trying to get the production side of things under my helmet, under my hat, even though I haven't wearing one. But hopefully, like I say, we're going to have another fabulous league on his hands, and hopefully it's going to expand to other products as well. So, all being well, Amateur Hour and Synergy and everybody else that's involved can expand, this fabulous platform to everybody, because it is well worth the entertainment.
Yeah, so best of luck to all those teams, and best of luck to Gaming Synergy and running that, especially because of the title itself. We all know the circumstances. So let's revitalize that title and see if we can get Sony to pay a little bit more attention to it to help those in that.
Oh, just get somebody to buy the IP. Just get somebody to buy the IP. It'd be good.
If they could, that'd be great.
Steve, are you listening? Steve. Get it in. Come on, get in.
Speaking of Steve, another shout out to OutsideIn Entertainment, who continue to work on Alvo, the one game that we have been providing coverage for the past couple of seasons, and the Alvo World League. OutsideIn Entertainment is always pushing to add more, and is one of the only titles that I think is full cross-platform as a VR title. And this is going to go across Quest, this is going to go across Steam, PlayStation, so on and so forth. And what's even better is with the mod.io coming into play, that is going to be accessible by all players on all platforms. All you're going to have to do is sign into mod.io, and you'll be able to play some of the things that the community members or just fans, even if they're not fully invested in playing the game itself, but they're invested in creating things for the Alvo world and the Alvo community, you can partake in that. So that's exciting. I'm excited for OutsideIn, and I'm excited to see where that takes this league. Just wait for disastrous creations.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Question. I had a couple of people asking me yesterday regarding the mods. When they actually are introduced, is that going to be pushed across all the platforms in one go, or do you have to sign into a particular group? So with the mods, because some people don't want the mods. Some people have already said to me, I don't want to play with mods. I want to play the game as it is.
So I believe the way it's going to operate, and again, this is not from the words of a developer, but someone who has some insider information, it is going to start as a private match sort of thing. So you'll be able to access the stuff that way. If there is something that is popular enough, that is something that they could bring in and make as a mainstay in the Alvo brand, I heard that they will look into doing that. So if you make a map that is incredibly popular and a lot of people are like, hey, I want to play this in Publix, can we make this available? OutsideIn Entertainment will talk to the creator and possibly work with them to get that into the game itself. It's a good way to give back to the community, as they have done. I mean, if you look at Pit if you look at just about every map, there's something that speaks to the community in some shape or form. So they have done a really good job acknowledging the community that has kept this game alive for as long as it has. So I think they're going to be doing the same thing with the mods. If there's a mod that is super popular, they'll talk to the creator.
I mean, the mod scene's massive anyway, and I think it's only going to benefit the game long term. I think there's some very clever individuals out there who are not signed to any sort of, production team or any sort of software company that can just produce mods. You've seen them on all other games, from Skyrim to whatever. So I think it's only going to benefit things going forward. It's another set of eyes, thousands of eyes looking onto it, and lots of people's imagination. So it's going to be brilliant. I can't wait. Will's got the kids to entertain.
yeah, that's exactly who it is. He's telling me. So he's got a couple of events coming up in school, right? He's got the 100-day of school celebration. So we did this really cool thing. We took a long sleeve shirt, and those googly eyes for crafts, we glued 100 of them to the shirt. So his shirt is a whole bunch of googly eyes.
God, I bet he scared the crap out of all the kids. And what the hell is that?
Or we're just going to call him a spud,
Yeah. I am a potato. Yeah, I identify as a potato.
And it's funny because he loves Peppa Pig, and the potato character is very popular in Peppa Pig. So it kind of fits. But he's also getting set for Valentine's. He's got a whole bunch of Valentines. That's what he was just sharing with me, that they just finished those.
How many girlfriends has he got? About 6.
He knows more girls' names than he does guys' names. I mean, this kid, I don't know, man. He's probably got too many girlfriends. We try not to talk about it because my wife is like, you know what? I'm the only woman in your life. I'm like, okay. Try to convince yourself of that, dear. And they also have this thing called Star Kid of the Week. So it highlights one of the kids, right? And we just got notice of this, and we have to prepare an entire week for him. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Sunday. And
is it like bringing the school pet home? Oh dear.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy things like a poster, finding a favorite item, sharing that on a different day. And it's just crazy stuff, man. I don't know. The things parents have to do.
All I can say is, mate, get him off Peppa Pig and get him on Ben and Holly.
Ben and Holly. Okay, I'll introduce them.
Ben and Holly's. Yeah, same people who've done Peppa Pig, but it's a million times better. It's hilarious.
He's also really into Bluey. I don't know how popular it is.
Oh, it's all over. It's like bloody Porky song, and it's bloody everywhere.
Maybe.
I remember Blue's Clues, and that was it.
Only when we
Yeah,
were
yep.
not doing it before.
Steve,
I thought
Josh,
it was
and
that.
I don't even remember the new guy's name, but yeah, he's past Blue's Clues.
And
And we are past the first half. We're going into the second here on Factory. I actually really like this map for a lot of reasons.
Again,
I think it's a really good
Big fan
design
of this
map.
in the middle room.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming.
I like the way you can get under the actual rackings as well. When you slide straight under, there's some brilliant manoeuvres you can pull off on this map. Environmentally, it's fabulous.
I keep falling off the stairs. Oh, that's not
Really good
Veronica
positioning here.
is she's just ripping it.
You know, in running this map for practice and stuff, we have found that if you actually push the left side here, like on this third of the map, if you push underneath and you get to the left side, it's very hard to find someone coming up from the flank, and they can easily get into your spawn. So if you're going to be holding down this area, you got to keep an eye underneath the catwalk on the right-hand side.
That is it. I've got a grenade.
Stands down. Oh, it's coming around.
Holding that little hidey hole behind the
That's where the hard point
the
is.
cabinet under the pipes.
Hey, did somebody swing around?
I got stuck in there yesterday. I had to blow myself up to get out.
I think she's on second floor office.
I did actually. The game after you left, I think we were on high rise.
Thank you.
Some poor son had got stuck in the plasterboard, and he's waving his laser around, going, "Kill me! Kill me!"
Too fat for this shit.
I'm
I
stuck!
used to be like
I'm
spring
stuck!
training or something.
As I'm coming! I'm coming!
Ooh,
I have to do
far
free
side.
throws, stupid. Yes! Kill me!
Near the con-
Kill me!
Ooh,
I don't want to be in carbonite. I want to be free.
3 o'clock from you.
And there, how did you get there? He says, I just spawned here. Are you joking?
Oh, that was rude and personal.
I should have left him there instead of leave him out of the game, but I did feel sorry for him. You could just see his head and 2 arms coming out of the plasterboard. It was hilarious.
Oh my
God.
In our spawn.
Yeah, that's too funny. That's a sight to see.
I wish I
I'm sure.
clipped it. I should have clipped it.
Yeah, they
Oh,
switched
I
out
see you
and put
laughing towards that.
mentals in.
Okay, so
Oh, on walkway,
Tony's holding the top of the top office.
The first thing that comes to mind is, you know, for team deathmatch, we see so often on towns on the maps.
They got me on
One's up under
Very
the back
strong hold
offices.
points, right? You got these strongholds on these maps. You know, police cars, marketplace, blah blah blah.
One
The
in the
question is,
middle.
like on factory, is
Oh,
there
one's on
truly
the
a spot
pipes,
that you can
poking his
hold?
head up
And you'll
in the
find
corner.
argument for either side. Like
goodness.
the
There's
center
my shoot
point,
one,
this
they
the
come
center
behind.
third of the map, where we see a lot of contests
one's
taking
coming in
place.
left side,
You'll
heading to the
notice
middle.
it's cross map, but you got one team spawning on the other side and one team spawning
Yeah.
here where Disgruntled is. And then the engagement
the,
is literally
walkway.
cross map. Barely anyone crosses
23-14 there,
unless
lead
it's
guy.
intended to flip the spot. And that's usually
Did you
game
just
favor
come
of
from
what your
down
favorite
below?
position is on this map. But realistically, is there,
Fell right
at least in
on
your
top of it.
opinion, in my mind there isn't, but in your opinion, do you think that there's a stronghold on this map that is far
Going
superior
through the door
to any
side,
other one?
spawn side, under the balcony.
I think, me personally, I like the little office on the far end because it's quite. The windows are small. You've got 2 doors, and you can flick round and then jump down to the right-hand side behind the containers, or you can jump into the lockers. So there's that little bit of movement can get you out of trouble quite quickly. Where in the big office, you've not got much to drop down to because you've got obviously grenades coming in from the top. Now they've got that under level as well, which they added
Yeah, we're 4 ahead.
recently underneath that top office. So yeah, I like where Veronica is now. This little area here, I quite like because it's, you know, there's enough visibility of people coming through the doors and also through the catwalk as well. But you can also get to the catwalk quickly. You can also, because if you're in the middle section, you can't get to the catwalk. You can only get it from the 2 far sections. So when you're in the middle, you and somebody's on that top catwalk, you're picked off very, very easily. I think when I came and played again with you yesterday, we had the same problem. They were coming all along that top catwalk, and we're just picking them off because they just didn't realise that we were there waiting for them. But no, I like where V is now. This is because you've got to say you've got a lot of cover, even though it seems very open. But the visibility is great. Visibility is great. So
Yeah,
me personally, I like this section.
And I have to agree to an extent that the side that hacks were on, which Veronica has now been removed from. I think from the perspective of the team entering that room, there really isn't a lot of visibility. Like you said, it seems very open, but there are a lot of things to hide
One was in the middle.
behind, even if
I'm
they
in
are
there.
small. Like right where Disgruntled is behind the blue barrels.
Disgruntled is right now. Yeah, yeah.
And the upside
Puddles
to this,
normally goes there and has a fag. I think when she's bored, she goes up there. I've seen lots of cigarette butts up there. I think she's left loads up there. Bless her.
38,
she
31.
probably has, along with a couple of bottles, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I think from that perspective, that little perk that Disgruntled was on, you can actually also get a nice perspective of the office space and clear them out. You know, a couple of people have pointed that out when we were competing last season. I would typically hold that spot, if for nothing else, to at least give intel as to whether or not someone was in the office space. So even if you can't get eliminations from there, if you're good with providing intel to your team, it's a beautiful perch to be on. Plus, you also have access to that bay window right at pipes, and you can really contest from there.
Well, that's it. The avenues of escape as well. I mean, like you say, it's not just about holding it. It's about, you know, when I'm getting picked off, can I get out of there quickly? I mean, sometimes it is virtually impossible to, but if you can get that little extra sprint or, you know, drop behind a barrel or a forklift truck or whatever, that could save your ass big time.
41, 45.
Very dangerous spot for Disgruntled be holding, but it looks as though no one was really looking in her general direction. I believe Dan Solo was on top of the container when she slid in. I don't think she saw a peripheral that Batman was lurking, but definitely got the jump on her. What's up, Crispy? Welcome, dude. Yeah, going through that door, I hate the door that she went through. I hate going through that door, man. I hate it. I avoid it at all costs. It's like, it's the worst. I don't know.
It's like you really are sitting for Slim Pickens there, aren't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get up that ladder fast enough.
3 of them.
No. You've got to absolutely tear off it across there, because if there's somebody watching you, you've got no chance. No chance.
Oh, yeah, right underneath the catwalk on those black containers.
Like
right under the catwalk.
It's all about time. If you could get across there, there's nobody looking at it.
One's coming fast out of our spawn down below.
See, that's a good little corner there, next to the boxes. When you're next to that doorway underneath the top office, I've seen quite a few people lurking in that vicinity, and you don't always see them. 53, 46.
That's one is very close. Yeah. And they've been aggressive too. Both teams really had, like I said, unlike Town, where you could just post up and we have a scoreline of what we saw. So like scores less than 30 or whatever. I think it was 25-21.
This map doesn't allow you to, does it? Because Town, obviously, if you've obviously spawned up where the police cars, you could have put yourselves there. Or obviously, if you're at the bottom of the fountain, you put yourselves there. This doesn't allow you to, because you've got more verticality.
Well, Hack's walking away with that one, 56-50. Another very close score line, as to be expected. This is kind of what we anticipated. But a really good play on Hacks. I mean, again, like unlike what we saw in the first team deathmatch, both teams very aggressive and up front, looking to retake position. And here's the thing: like we didn't in Town, once they had their spot, they weren't really trying to retake a stronghold. They just simply were trying to get an elimination, and if that caused a flip, then whatever. Here, it was almost as if they wanted to retake the other side, and there was such an aggressive push back and forth from both teams. So it was really nice to see. And one thing
that was a good scrap.
It was. And one thing I wanted to point out too, and I had this in my mind, but got distracted by the game. You had mentioned Industrial, like how people didn't really like it, or maybe even still don't really like it too much. And the reasons that I shared and some of the reasons that you shared are examples of that. But I also wanted to note when Industrial first came out, the fences, they had this visual issue where you couldn't see through them at a distance. You remember that?
On the PSVR 1?
Yeah. It was just like gray. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So like
you could stand behind them, and you could fire away like mad. And you obviously, if you were right behind the fence, great, you could see through. But if you're more than, like I say, a good, equivalent to say 50 yards away, you couldn't see through them. They're like a brick wall, and you just get picked off every time. So that was an issue.
It made it disastrous. So ever since they changed that, like I think people In fact, I remember being in lobbies and I pointed out like, hey, you could see through the fences now. And I think there was a shift in opinion for a lot of players, and they actually started really enjoying it. But I still think those factors that we spoke of earlier are still critical in people's opinion about that map. But speaking of critical opinions of maps, High Rise is not necessarily a favored map for Search and Destroy. I think Hardpoint people enjoy a lot more, but I don't know. What do you think about this choice by Hacks?
It's interesting, actually. I mean, again, they're going to favour the maps that they're going to feel strongest on. So if they feel that they've got an advantage or they've got a good plan to put forward, I mean, I think High Rise is a good all-round map again. Great verticality. It's got some lovely little ledges round the back where you can do a little bit of shimmying round and dropping onto platforms and things like that. Which again, if you get a chance to explore the map, use them because they are great to jump between one level and another without being seen or switched off. So yes, you've got ladders, you've also got ledges around the map. But yeah, this is again, it's lots of obstacles. I mean, this is getting picked off at the moment. Oh dear. Ooh. That's not ended well. I don't know. I think when I've played with and against the guys from Hacks, they do like this map and they do seem to be. They've got a plan. They seem to know how to use the elements to their advantage. But I think this time it's gone against them. At least for this round, anyway.
Well, I like that Veronica was able to get the plan, and even though she saw her team dying little by little, it does force the clock to drop to 45 seconds, which puts a rush on the opposing team.
Yeah.
And with just only I can only guess there's probably maybe a second or two left on that clock. You can I can't hear the comms, but the way Veronica moved her head there seemed to me as though it was very, very close. So that almost worked out in their favor. But yeah, to me, for High Rise, I think it fares much better as a hard point. Search and Destroy. Maybe it's just personal preference. It can be a very hard map. Like the B site where we see it now is such an open space. Yeah. It's like, why is that even a point?
But is it any worse than B spot for industrial where it's in the pit?
Perhaps not.
Because that's awful. That is awful. Because like a high point, you can basically surround that and just pick your players off as they come through, unless they know where your positions are from the cameras. But
I think that comes down to strategy, right? Forcing the team to make them think that you're going to go to a different position. Like that last round, Veronica may have been the surviving member, but the rest of her team kind of forced repeat offenders towards the A site.
Yeah, call the bluff. I mean, sometimes that's what you have to do. It's as much as calling bluff, especially on the desert map. If you see somebody running to A, you think, oh, let's all go to A, and it's, oh, no, we'll go to B instead. Then you've got to get an Uber to get back to B because it's so bloody far away. And by the time you get there, you need an iron lung because you've got no oxygen left. And oh God, yeah. Oh, and then his gabber on his bong. Oh dear, you get gassed by that.
What are you talking about, mate?
Hey, you're blank. You all right? Yeah, Gab. How are you?
I'm just having another puff here.
Yeah,
it's all good.
That's what you hear, isn't it? It's like you're in the bubble. You're having a bubble bath, Gabba. Hacks have replied 1-0. Bless him. Everybody loves Gabba.
Yeah, it's hard.
He is Mr. Alvo. He is Mr. Alvo.
Oh,
dear.
Well, this is their last attempt on the offense.
I'd love to get him on breaches. I think he'd shit himself on that.
he'd be. I can hear him saying, "What do I do with this gadget? What does this one do? Why do I even need these? Just fight someone.
Why am I hanging off a wall? I'm hanging off a wall. I can't get off. I'm just running around on this wall.
Why not just walk in through the front door?
Why do I have to pull myself through a window? Strangely enough, I played it for first time in ages with Pumpkins, and I think first game I turned up, ended up winning the game for him. I just shot one person, that was it, game over. Oh, Blank's done it, he's won the game! What have I done? There's me dropping bloody ammo on the floor. Oh, God.
One
Looks like Vicky's the last
so-
surviving member of Hacks, able to.
I'm over
Oh man, she's in that 1v1, loses it, disgruntled, winning this out.
Oh,
Gotta go in for the defuse. Does she have enough time? Bomb exploded, and Hacks still gets the win. Enough time has passed, and they're able to skirt by with a victory despite all being eliminated. Really well played by Hacks.
That's a satisfying win, isn't it? When you can win, you're all dead, but the bomb's gone off. It's like, nah.
It's something that I always touted in Firewall when we covered it. You know, it was like sometimes you just play the clock, man. Just play the clock. You know, you essentially have another teammate in your corner, and that's you know, the clock itself. You know, you waste enough time.
He's up on that other platform.
They're gonna run out
Actually,
of
looking for
it.
jammers. Jesus Christ! I think I spent most of my life looking for jammers in that game. Jesus.
Yep.
And it's
They
totally
very
doable in
clever
this
guys.
game too. You know, you plant early enough, you drop that clock down to 45 seconds. Again, it puts the pressure on the defending team. Now they got to rotate, and they got to be cautious about where you are as well. So they got to pay attention to the clock, pay attention to you. And it becomes incredibly stressful in that situation. Vicky was able to hold fast disgruntled.
As soon as I crawl up the ladder to B, they're coming to the ladder now, disgruntled. Oh, they dropped down. They didn't
For this
see.
B plan, no, bypassing it. It seems.
No.
And I fell down.
No.
It's you and Dung.
Maybe instead looking for
Definitely
the
playing the,
elimination.
Back up. He's
On the
right
far
behind that
side.
hole over there, though.
Doug is coming up the ladder.
Okay, there's two left if you want to
That's
try
the
to
especially on the
plant.
bigger maps. You
I
do have to
can't
flush
see
them out by
anybody, but
plan. You've got to
I
yeah,
see
flush them out by
someone
plan.
coming from.
Sometimes I feign
middle
plant, like, because
stairs.
you know someone's going to be. Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Oh,
what a
that's
flash.
Get out of there.
devastating.
There's just two of them.
They're both
40
coming up
seconds on the
now.
clock. Somehow
Down.
survives. Oh!
Picked off in the last second.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You're
I was gonna say sometimes like you can
This
feign
is
plant, right?
stressful.
Like you can
This
make
is
it
too
look
much
like
stress.
you know, if you have
I
your
can't
team
handle
on cameras and you have
I can't handle this.
you know
I
that
don't
the
like
opposing team has
losing.
people on cameras. You know that they're going to be communicating when you're going to be planting. So
Yeah.
you can
I'm
feign
not
plant, and if
letting
your
them.
team, if that draws out your opponent, you can get off of the
Yes.
plant, forget about planting it, and then go for the attack.
And leg it. Yeah, and do a full Yui behind and
we're
then
gonna
pick them
jump
off
up?
and then they think they're trying to get to the bomb. Yeah.
Jesus.
Right here in front of us, right here in front of the
That's,
train.
that's a very good tactic.
Down.
Not
They're
used
right
enough,
behind
I
us
don't
too. Watch coming up.
I suppose in league play makes it
Nice.
even more impressive.
Yeah, when if
Yeah,
you're able to
it's
pull it
good.
off,
Yeah.
How'd they
They're
get
if you're able to pull it off, it
That's good.
works.
I'm
One's
down.
right- Yep.
Spellman, right here. Can you pick
I
me
like
by the
center
crane,
Spellman's
one's by the
position.
crane.
If that's like, I
Yep.
think it was up
Big
there.
I'm
one
down.
by
Can't
the
really
crane.
tell.
Nope.
Coming right
Now
at
they're
you.
in the downstate.
Good
Big and last
day.
member
We
alive
all
does trade,
Yeah.
That's a shame.
and that puts Hacks
okay.
at a
alright.
4-1
We get
lead. Repeat
one
offenders.
free
Now we
roll.
saw them reverse sweep before,
They did a
but
damn good
that
swap
was
out with
on
Randy. Yeah,
of course they
industrial.
did.
Are they going to be able to do that
Very
here on
smart.
high rise? I mean,
Let's go to
I
A.
think if
I know
Hacks get this
over that
next win, I
bastard.
can't see them
Let's go
recovering from
across
5-1.
Yep.
They really
Wow.
can't.
yeah, the momentum is just a little too great.
Put some suppressing.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Never
bomb
say
plan
never.
either.
Never
I
say
know,
never.
I know, right? You can't count them out yet.
We've
But
all been there, mate. We've all been on
I got one down.
receiving and the back ends of 5-0
Motherfucker.
They're behind us.
recoveries and
They're
obviously 5-0
I got it down.
comeback. So
Down.
We're all
They're
yeah,
in the-
it's,
Oh,
it's a hell of a
there's another
feeling to
one.
do
They're reviving
it. Hell of a
where we
feeling, but it's also
Spellman,
so
everyone
demoralising.
There's
We'll
already
set
one
our Spellman,
in
the
A.
last surviving member of repeat offenders, up against 3.
Oh, they just
Dan, Randy,
revived.
and
Yeah.
Veronica.
Had
And
three of them
I
down,
can
too.
at least tell you this: there is one person
many
sitting on
left?
A.
On the floor.
That's
Three.
and that's
To your right,
one
to your
one of the
right.
issues with going for. And there's the
Fucking
elimination
extra
there.
way
Now
to-
a match point. Hacks looking to get a win and a 6-1 victory. Let's see
Now
if
we
they
gotta
can do
win
it.
four in a row.
Going to that site is so dangerous because
You know what? At least
where the
we
spawns
won
are.
2 out of
Someone
the 3
is
of our
ev-
games, so it's
evidently going to be looking down from above. And unless you can get a great angle to pick them off from down below, it's almost pointless to go there. You have to clear that area first.
Yeah, if you don't sweep it properly, it's pointless. Absolutely pointless. Oof. Exchanging fire, exchanging fire.
I'm down, Vicky, Roger.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Watch out for revenge.
Not watching their
Teamwork yet
flag.
again.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
shit. Keep on these stairs.
Don't need to. They're all coming.
Oh, Veronica putting in some dirty work. A lot of
For revenge for the you get one, I'll get the other.
landed
Go
shots.
get B.
I'm watching.
God, don't you just wish you had a haptic vest on?
Right? it saves you on money from going to a massage parlor, you know?
Danger zone now.
Saves money go looking at YouTube, OnlyFans channel.
They're both on that bit by danger zone. One's on the left side, one's on the right side.
Oh dear.
Skip
But no, haptic vest, that's got to be the way forward,
Coming out,
sure.
go big.
Yeah, I'm looking to get my next investment is going to be the force tube to attach to my mag tube.
Oh, of course, yeah, to give you the kickback. Yeah.
Danger zone.
Are you installing Steam version day one?
Is that it? Yeah,
Oh,
that's
100%,
it.
yeah.
All down.
Same here.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I don't mind spending another 15 quid on this game.
Oh my gosh, 6-1 victory, 2 hacks. They get another win under the belt and for the first time in this matchup. They take the lead. We're gonna get a scorecard here, then we'll head back.
Good game, guys.
But yeah, I'm
That's a
definitely
good comeback. That's a good comeback.
I'm definitely gonna get the Steam version on day one.
Yeah, me too.
Especially because there are going to be graphic quality options. I know that right now we have refresh rate options that are standard in the game, which is great to have. But yeah, I'm looking to have those visual qualities adjustable as well. I want to see this game at its best. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the updated map versions or not. I don't know if that's if they're waiting to push those because of that, but I'm hoping so because some of what I've seen, it's going to put it in line with the more popular games today. Because if you look at the gloves right now in the game, if you look at the gloves, and if you go to Veranda, there's one spot. You know that little bar out in the pool on Veranda?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there's right at the entrance, there's a perfect light. I encourage anyone to go in private match, go to Veranda, just go to that spot and then look at your gun and look at the amount of detail that's actually on the gun.
Yeah.
I say this because with the lighting, so for anyone who knows about development or whatever, the lighting is baked into the scene. So in other words, it's not real time. And getting a very good lighting refraction off of objects can be difficult because with baked lighting, because you have to go to a specific spot at a specific angle, right? So with baked lighting, reflections, colors, stuff like that can look flat, but it also saves a lot of space. With the new hardware, you can have more realistic lighting, which is what they're going to be implementing. And you can kind of, bake cookies, not lights. You can kind of get that on Veranda. You can actually see it in that one spot and see how much detail is actually in the weapons and on the gloves. It's ridiculous. You're like, why don't we see this? And part of that is because of the lighting. So my hope is that with the new updated maps, which I have run through a couple of times, not all of them, but most of them, I could say that the lighting is so important that it will change this game and put it in line with the likes of Pavlov and other titles similar in terms of visual quality. So I'm excited. I hope that's what they bring. If not, it should be shortly after the Steam release. And once that happens, it's going to bring in a whole new group.
But it's still great to see the lobbies as full as they are, to be honest.
Oh, all the new players is incredible.
I know, it's absolutely, it's incredible. You know, people are saying that VR's dead, and obviously all the layoffs, and obviously everything else is documented. It's still great to see, you know, so many filled lobbies. So that's a testament to Sean and Steve and the rest of the guys. You know, working stupid hours just to get this game, you know, where they want it to be.
We got a couple more people in chat who are just starting to speak up. We got Pavlo, we got Hades.
Oh, they're coming behind us too. Coming up, they're behind us.
Welcome.
Oh my God.
We also got a couple of YouTubers watching, and I went over on YouTube. Feel free to, you know,
say hello.
Speak up. And don't worry, because we will let everybody know what you're saying when you're saying yada yada yada. So come join the conversation.
As long as it's respectful. As long as it's respectful, of course.
Yeah. Don't
In
be
that
offended.
far back corner.
Yeah. That's my job.
You motherfucker.
Top of the roof
Once my
there,
boobs.
that you're coming around.
And when you're not there, it's Stitch's job.
Yeah, he is.
I'd just like to say, doesn't O'Doyle look well?
One by the white office.
Yeah.
He looked well, bless
Dude,
him.
I
He
can't
looks
make it
really
inside,
well.
man. We got to find these guys.
Is he on some sort of health kick at the moment? I watched like 5 minutes of him last night. I thought, hey, he looks really well.
He
looks
really
healthy.
does. Yeah. He certainly does.
Good.
Doesn't look disheveled,
side of the
pale, or
building.
anything like that. You know, glad to see. Like, you know, I don't obviously don't want to go into details, but like, given you know, what life has thrown at him in recent months. You know, he's doing well, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, if he's listening, mate, all is well, and hope it's all going well for you, buddy, long term. Speak to you soon, more than likely. Not spoke to him this year yet, actually. It's still Happy New Year, O'Doyle.
All right, Justin Johnson chimes in from YouTube, and I'm not really sure if he's smoking something, but I can't fully comprehend what he wrote. I had water issues, that's why I could not be able to make my hot water took in the pipe exploded.
Shed building.
Oh my god.
Translation, something happened with his water and a pipe may have exploded.
Have you got the plumbers in, Justin? Have you got the plumbers in? That's all I want to know. Have you got the plumbers in? Is it a Swedish plumber? I'll just clean your pipes, my dear.
On the main walkway.
Repeat offenders are in dire straits.
Down their pipes in the big building.
They really haven't held any point with any confidence in this matchup so far. It's still in favor of Hack.
All right, I cleared it.
I'm in it.
Like we said at half time, they're going to come out flying the flag big time for Team Hacks at the minute, and they'll definitely
Digging right below you. I know.
showing their competitive nature now.
Oh, now
Got a fucking turret in it.
I mean, I
Yeah,
know
right
a
in the
lot of
middle
them are there, and they say that they're just there for the shits and giggles, but you know, as all, we're all competitive people. We hate losing. We hate losing.
Yeah.
You know, they might say, "Oh, well done," but you're missing, bastard.
One's on
Good
the
game, good
building.
game,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, golf clap. Golf clap.
I got it.
Yeah, golf clap. Yeah, well done.
You got 1 second.
But no,
Oh, I'm in it.
as a competitive person all my life, I fucking hate losing. I absolutely hate it. But deep down, I can take it on the chin. You know, there's one thing I hate is sore losers. One thing I actually detest is bad winners. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
You sound kind of defeated already. And, you know, that's a good point, Doom. I was going to bring this up earlier when we were talking about momentum shift and, you know, having the what the faculties to emotionally bring yourself back in, do like something like a reverse sweep, like what we saw before. To be able to pull yourself back and reel yourself in emotionally, like competitive sports is 50% mental, if not more than that. Like that's just a bit of an arbitrary number, but it's a lot of sports, whether it's traditional or electronic sports, it's mental. And if you do not have the right mindset, you're setting yourself up to fail. And especially when you start losing steam, like what we can see with repeat offenders, your statement there, Doom, is very indicative of that very fact. You feel defeated, you sound defeated, you start speaking negatively, it is bound to affect your gameplay.
Yeah, it's like in any, like you say, I agree with that. Any team sport, you know, if you start harping on at your players, you go, "Oh, you're crap. What you doing? What you do that for?" Blah blah. It is just gonna basically just zap the actual energy out of that team, and you know, and like you say, mentally, like Wolf was saying, but also, like I say, the physical aspect as well, because you're just not moving, you tense up, your body's not in that, you know, that lovely fluid movement, and those movements that cost you half a second, you know, gets you out of the game. So,
and yeah, I don't know if you all heard it in the competition yesterday, but there were moments where, you know, before every round, I made some sort of statement. Okay, that game's in the past. Forget about it. Don't think about the end result here. Let's focus on the here and now. And not only was I saying that just for the team, but I was also saying it for myself because I tend to be a very mental player. I screw up, and that's a consequence of my emotions when I play. So bringing it into, like, putting it out in the air and bringing it like to life helps solidify that statement, and it can really have a positive benefit on your general gameplay. So even if you have to say it out loud, be like, okay, get it together. Let's focus up. Let's change things. You know, sometimes as a player or as a team, you need that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have belief in the team. You got to have belief in yourself, as well as obviously emphasising that out to your team as well. Even if they haven't going through a bad spell, as long as they believe and they can have that positive outcome, I mean, confidence is massive in any sport, and we're not just talking e-sport, as in any sport, be it football, cricket, rugby, whatever. If you've got a confidence and a bravado, and you can keep it, it's great. But when you start losing that confidence, you start doubting yourself, and obviously, it spills out to the rest of the team. So
now, despite them being down by a significant margin, about 100 points, they are starting to claw their way back. There is still time, but with 170 points in favor of Hack, they are closing in on that point cap. As long as they can keep it contested, it's at yellow, it's at red. They're getting ever so close to bringing it back. But they do have to maintain their composure, have those tournament players. They finally reached the triple-digit margin. They're 77 points behind. If they can retake this and hold it for a little bit longer, and then get to that second point, they might stand a chance, but it's going to be close.
Jesus Christ. Ooh. Hurt him.
Back in the center.
It's looking difficult now. They need 5, I think. Was it 185 or 195?
In the balcony. Nope, one's
192. They're now at 192.
That's my fire.
Oh, gray, green, yellow. It's contested. Can they take it? There's red. Okay. Disgruntled. Taking over. They put a turret on the point.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, no.
That's just mean. That's just mean.
This is we were making a
Then
comeback.
again, why wouldn't you? If you get the streak, then you use it.
Fabulous
Oh,
game.
Wow.
my, dude. Let me
Who
tell
was
you
posting?
something.
Who was posting the numbers there? Jesus.
I was so happy for Disgruntled there because she slid in. She took out the final members on that point, and just, oh, man. Seeing that
Looking at the
turret was
numbers.
devastating.
God. Yeah, Randy was on 39 kills, 27 for V. Is that 25 for both Dan and Captain? And even Vicky was chugging in with 20, so they were proper piling in. Like I say, Nickel and Dung, they were just under, on the 30s, 26, 20.
Come on,
so yeah,
Axe.
again, numbers very, very similar. But
That's
not
devastating.
enough.
Oh, man. Repeat offenders came out very strong in the very 2 first matches. They were looking good. And then, again, that last match in the first half, that spawned the momentum, that energy boost that Hacks needed, and they carried it forward in the second half, and they just dominated.
Yeah.
And I want to say dominated in the sense that they won all of them, but surely a lot of those were really, really close, except for that last one, with repeat offenders having the weight of sadness behind them, like, oh man, we may have lost it. This could be bad. It's just not working out for us. Like that affected them entirely.
But to be fair, the first 2 games were close anyway, and like I say, it could have been 6-0 either way. It could have been 3-all, it could have been 6-0 to Hacks. Obviously, it was 6-0 to repeat, and then obviously that last game in that first half is just, you know what? It's just turned the tide. It's just like, you know what? We're in this. Come on, and that's all it needs. Just that little bit of faith, as George Michael used to say. God rest his soul.
Now, we do have another match that may be only a half hour in. The question is, do you all in chat want to see that now? And if so, does anyone have a score line to help us?
Is anybody streaming?
Very well could be. Okay. Some people say that they want to. I need to work the magic here then. And
Do you have to do like wobbly?
all right. So let's get rid of this. All right. So EOD is streaming, yeah. So give me a few seconds here, and we should be able to get it up and ready. This is the brilliant part, Plank, about having this Stream Deck. Very quickly, I am just literally changing everything. Do we know who won the very first match?
I've got mine up and running.
Do we know who won the first TDM?
So, das heißt, die müssen nach A gelaufen sein.
Answer the postcard, guys. Answer the postcard.
So, B ist
Kann ich eine Granate rüberschmeißen?
Okay. Well, this is what we'll do.
Ah, die sind im
We'll
Gym.
go
die
in.
sind im Gym.
By the way, that is not disgruntled. I know it's EOD. I will fix that.
Yeah.
Ich kann nicht schießen.
Congratulations, Veronica, on the win. Fantastic play.
Well done, sweetie.
Kann
Well
ich
done
wieder
to you and the
schießen? What
guys.
fuck? Nein, die
Smashed
kommen.
it. Absolutely smashed it. Great recovery.
Sehr gut.
Must have been panic stations at the beginning when you were
Wer hat eigentlich die
lost the
Bombe?
first two games, but a great recovery.
All right. That buffering is not on our
Die
end.
müssen blenden.
Just as an
Wer hat die
FYI.
Bombe, Leute? Hab ich die Bombe?
Wir sind verteidigen.
Point that out.
Wir sind
Mario,
bereit,
wir sind am Verteidigen.
bereit, ey. Ja,
Nur noch
aber
einer
das
am
ist ja nicht so.
noch einer
Yeah,
am
needs to
Leben.
get the hamster running a bit
Noch
quicker.
einer am
Da
Leben.
ist er doch. Ich höre ihn schon.
Ich kann
I've
einer
I've just upgraded to a three-legged hamster, so they can run the wheel a bit quicker
Er ist
today.
direkt bei mir. Er ist direkt bei mir. Left-Kurs. Er ist immer noch an der, im Gym, an dem Blumentopf, an dieser Position. Pass auf, Andy. Vor dir.
Ja.
Haben.
Nice.
Perfekt.
Sehr gut, sehr gut.
Ihr müsst ihn gar nicht jagen gehen, der muss ja sowieso zu euch kommen.
The beauty of having cable in the UK makes a big
Der ist ja
difference.
schon auf Defense, ey.
Ja, wir sind
Ja,
noch
Mario.
Guten Morgen.
Mario, voll tief Luft.
That's all you ever use at your neck of the woods, is it cable?
Achso,
Cable?
B oder nee?
So, verteidigen.
Yeah? You use fiber optic, you're on cable internet or...
I'm personally, I want
Hier wieder rein.
fiber optic.
Treppe.
Probier wieder reinzukriegen
Ja.
hier bei uns.
Schaff ich nicht.
Das schaffst du nicht.
Absolute beast.
Der ist
Ich
tot.
bin geflasht.
Yeah, it's not overly
Da kommt- pass auf,
popular in
da
the
kommt
UK,
einer
so we never had the infrastructure like you guys with the cable TV and stuff like that.
Pass auf, pass auf.
I'll be
Treppe,
honest,
Treppe,
I
Treppe,
hate-
Treppe, Treppe.
We don't even have it.
Really?
Der
Yeah,
kleinen
I
Treppe nach
just,
oben liegt einer.
we,
Sind
we
noch
use
zwei am Leben.
we have so many other
Andy, über dir.
um
Andy, das ist
Services.
yeah
Decke.
that what's the
Okay,
point, you know, especially because like things like ESPN, you know, they have their own application. You want to buy into that?
Okay.
Überall eine Decke.
That way you don't have to worry about
Ja,
as many
knall
commercials
die Decke ab, knall
because
die
you still
Decke
get
ab,
some
jetzt verdammt.
depending.
Ja, ja, genau.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about as many
Pay for it.
commercials and
Verteidigen, Mario.
at the same time like you get to watch specifically what you want when you want as opposed to waiting for it to happen and then you know
Yeah.
switching through channels and you know maybe run the risk
Well, I
of
mean,
having a
like
channel
I-
that doesn't actually have it.
Wo?
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, the beauty we have BBC iPlayer and stuff like that, which is free of charge in the UK, but you know, it's there's so much stuff on. You don't really need to buy. I mean, we've got Disney Plus and stuff, but
Balkon, zweiter Stock.
you know, we've got
Im Hotel ist ein
cable
Toter
TV,
und einer wird revive.
like Sky TV to be fair.
Bleib liegen
Ich
jetzt.
sitze.
Yeah, I know he's
Meister,
streaming.
flink.
It's
Der steht
not
noch, der
popping
steht
up.
wieder. Scheiße,
What?
spät,
Wieso
der steht
steht er
noch.
noch, Alter?
I'm working on that
passiert?
end.
Töte ihn, Bumblebee. Er ist bei den...
Ja.
It says failed
Was ist denn da passiert? Bei mir hat er gelegen. Bei mir ist er auf
Failed.
dem Boden gewesen.
Ja, bei mir hat er auch gelegen.
determine
Richtig,
something
so,
out of
ich habe gedacht, ich hätte den anderen noch richtig
Not sent you a
geschaltet, vor dem Ende des Revives.
truncated URL, has he?
Und dann ist
War
er
aber
auch
nicht.
so...
Und dann auf einmal hat er
fängt an zu ballern,
geschossen.
während er auf dem Boden,
No.
während er
Genau.
auf dem Boden lag, hat er geschossen.
Richtig.
Okay, ich hab die Bombe.
Okay.
Ja, nicht da lang gehen. Bloß nicht
I
da
know
lang
I know
gehen.
you saw it, but it's not popping up on my
Danke,
end.
Mario.
I believe you.
Ja,
I'm
ich
just
komm,
not
komm,
seeing
ich
it.
bin
Direkt
hinter
nach A
dir.
durch.
On my
Einer,
end.
ein oder zwei müssen nach hinten absichern gleich.
Ich
I will
bleib
go
hinten,
find
ich
him.
bleib hinten.
And then put a link in there.
Die sind schon in der Sauna.
Unless everybody else can.
Okay, dann komm mal vor.
Mich hat erwischt.
So, shall we just put the link in the
Mario
chat?
ist alleine gerade im Lockerroom. Und das
Ich
sind
hab einen
mindestens
gedownt
ein
hier
oder zwei.
draußen. Ja, einen habe ich gedownt. auf
Da ist
jeden
noch
Fall.
einer bei der Bar gerade. Und noch einer gegenüber bei den großen Fenstern. Zwei sind gedownt, einer, zwei, drei, da ist noch einer.
Scheiße.
Hinter euch, Achtung, die kommen
Unter
durch.
den Fenstern.
Im Waschraum ist einer.
Bumble,
Boah.
unter dir
Ja,
ist einer.
ja.
Unter dir ist ein. Zwei sogar, die haben da gerevived. Die sind jetzt von der Bar. Bei der Bar. Einer sagt,
Look at that.
50p in the meter. Hey.
Nice,
I'm not incompetent, guys. Just slow.
What, Romy?
Okay, alright, let's do that
Just
again.
slow.
I am incompetent and slow. I can tick both those boxes.
I wish
Not a
I
problem.
could see you play.
You said it was 3:30.
All right. Well, since we got a lot of perspective from
Oh,
German
is
grandpas,
DJ
we'll just hang out
DJ
here.
still on? DJ still on PSVR
I'm
1?
gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
I'll stay at
Yeah.
Good lad.
Okay, I got
We still got some
cafeteria.
PSVR 1 users.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I know Slow is. I know Slow Ass is.
Oh shit.
We also got a couple
Come
of
in,
new
Jim.
people coming in who said
I
that they were
got
on the
one.
PSVR 1. I was like, oh my
Yeah, they're
gosh,
coming in
bless you.
locker room.
Fab.
B.
Locker
They're
room
going
A.
B for sure.
It's
They're
not
all
bad, you know.
four
I mean,
in.
have you? I bet you've not even gone back to
I
it, have
got
you?
two of them.
I haven't picked up my
Yeah.
PSVR 1
Okay,
since I got my
there's one
PSVR
behind the
2.
bar.
It's connected to my PS4 upstairs.
Damn it, grenade.
Yeah,
Grenade,
I mean,
top over there.
I've kept
From
it
up
separate
top.
to my PS4 and PS5, so I can just fire up one or the other. But
That's-
I went on
Ooh, that
a
revenge
couple
grenade
of weeks
almost
ago,
got
and I've got the old dildos back out again, and it just felt as fresh as a daisy, mate.
dirty.
I mean, yes, there is that little bit of somebody smeared jam all over my lenses, but
You had them all down to that.
no, I had an
Yeah,
absolute
we're
whale of a
sliding
time,
around.
mate. It was
What
like
is it, hard point
like
now?
It's like,
coming
come
back
on,
home, you know,
come
you
on.
just sit in a nice comfy sofa. It was just very nice, and still
You should
played
pass
as well
it
as
so they can watch you
you know,
play.
and I was still ripping it up with the dildos as well. So
You just hit the
It's nice
so
to go back to
can't
something
complain.
familiar, right? Like you just
Download
find
It
a
is,
degree
yeah.
of comfort there.
Good game.
Oculus.
But like we've always said, though, the problem we've
game,
got, you know, PSVR 1 was great because it was always either the aim controller, the moves,
I wish I could show
or the
you.
dual shot. But
I know
obviously
they were
now, different games have different button placements for different things. Even though the controllers are just one controller now, there's no uniformity. They need, or at least give you the option to change it to what you want to have set up.
Mhm.
Because, like I say, muscle memory, like I say, jumping from D-Day to Breaches to Alvo to Firewall to, it's like, I can't cope. My two brain cells are not coping very well with this.
We need a standardized approach to controls for VR, just straight up, man. Like we really need it. I understand with the PSVR 1 it was a little different, but now with things moving forward, it's like we need a more standard approach. Because I agree with you, and having played D-Day for like hours on end, I go back to Alvo. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? What's the jump button? Like I'm pressing the wrong button to jump, and I'm like doing something completely different. I'm crouching instead. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so lost. Does anyone?
One thing I think D-Day's got right is oh, sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, just saying what D-Day does right. When you've got the actual telescopic sights, pressing the left trigger to actually get straight down the line of sight of the scopes, which I thought was lovely. So I thought they implemented that really well. Unlike Firewall, where the ADS kicks in, it still feels quite lucid. You know, you've still got that minimal movement when you're looking down those scope sights. I like that.
Yeah, I'm so glad with Firewall they changed the whole ADS thing, man.
Oh god, yeah.
That was literally the well, I don't want to say it was the only thing, but I could say it was the primary culprit to why I didn't want to play Ultra in the first place, because it forced me to use a mechanic I didn't like. And no game should ever force you to feel that way. There was one game that it was Aspire 1 when it first came out. It forced you to have the blinders.
Never played it. Okay.
It forced you to have the blinders. Yeah, it didn't give you an option.
What?
Now they updated it like a week or two later because of how much of an issue it became to the community. But yeah, when they first released it, it forced you to have the blinders on. Like, why?
God.
It was awful. So I'm glad that they changed it. But one thing that still needs to be changed is the utility wheel, being able to select grenades and stuff like that. I'm seeing people use them, and they use them efficiently. I'm just not that way.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot adapt to something like that, nor do I want to feel forced to adapt to something like that. So I hope in the future, if anyone does pick it up, if Sony is able to find a team to work on the game and improve it, I personally feel that is one thing that needs to change. Eye tracking is all well and good, but not for weapon selection.
When it's used properly, it's excellent. But no, not for throwing grenades. It's like I suppose you are looking at it and you need to throw it, in that direction. But selecting it, by the time you've done it, you're dead. It's just it's not fluid at all. Not fluid at all.
Does anyone know? Was anyone able to find out who won the first round? I hate to say this, but I would assume it was Grandpa's based on that performance we just saw on Search and Destroy. But I don't want to be presumptuous. So if anyone is able to find out what the scoreline was in the first one, that'd be great. If not, we'll just continue on with the score as is. And depending on...
I'll find out at the end.
We'll find out. We'll figure it out a little bit later.
Just put little brackets around it saying... we've only got details of one game.
All right, so it looks like Town might be up next for Hardpoint. And we're waiting on one more person to hop in from Raining Havok. I also do have the rosters. I should have the rosters up. Just real quick. And now, here's the thing. I don't know if I have the updated one for Raining Havok. I know that they had an updated roster. See, it broke. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what I did. It just does things. It's OBS things, man.
Blame Titch. Just blame Titch.
I've literally used the Stream Deck for everything up to this point, and it still broke. So that argument's out the window. I'm telling you, man.
OBS, mate.
OBS thing. So anyway, over on Raining Havoc, it looks like I did update it on my end. So we got Left Cross, DJ Token, Redneck Napalm, Alegua. Alegua has been a wonderful surprise. Alegua is really someone to watch out for. I think they're going to be a really good competitor as the season progresses and in the future. Blonde Baller Gemini in the last match that we watched, she went off, man. She's a phenomenal player, particularly on Veranda. She did really, really well.
Come on, Hacks.
Fire EMT and Damod. Damod is known in, at least on my end in Publix, as a ridiculously good grenade thrower. He is a grenadier of like no other. His placement of them is just near perfect. Like 90% of the time, if he throws a grenade, he's hitting someone or killing them. He's phenomenal.
Wow.
I can say this though, the competitive scene definitely not performing to the degree that I was thinking he is capable, that I think he is capable, but that speaks to the competitive scene and how different it is than a Publix run. And I just want to point that out. Like anyone who plays competitively will know it's a very different environment.
Come on, Hacks.
So then when you go back into Publix, you find it to either be easier or you just see such a skill gap that it's like, wow, there really is a difference between the two.
Yeah, you're talking Premier League over bloody, part-timers. The step up is massive. Like I found out when I was, when I was on trial with Hacks, I was like I was going to prison. When they introduced, I couldn't cope with it. I was getting absolutely.
That's when
I stepped back into PSVR 1, so I thought I can't do this on this platform. I'm garbage. And then even playing with the dildos, I was competitive, but not to the standard that these players who are, zoned in. They are zoned in players. There's no doubt about that.
And over on the German Grandpas, probably I would say that they were the award winners for the most improved team of Season 1. German Grandpas is composed of Spezzy, EOD Meister, Andy, Snug, Icarus, TB Project, Bamblebee, Marble and Andy, Mystery, and Black Mario. This team is just, they're continuing to impress, man. That's all I got to say. They're just continuing to impress.
Some top players there, as we know. Mario, everybody knows the capabilities out of Spezzy as well. Has always been a top performer. Every time I've played against either of them two, I've just had my arse handed to me. I even had to go to 2 plastic surgeons because my arse was hanging off.
We got a couple of flanks up from Plank here. It's just up for grabs, if you will. But I gotta say, EOD Meister, man, last week that guy, he went off. He performed so well, elimination after elimination, and in key moments as well, getting 3 kill eliminations, 5 kill eliminations. He was really setting his team up for success, and I anticipate we're gonna see that here as well. Aside from this slight misjudgment, already hurt, stepping into fire, done it myself. It happens. But we're gonna let that one slide.
That's the idea. You're supposed to slide, aren't you? Get rid of it.
Well, not into it. You don't want to slide into it.
No, well, no, I suppose not.
But especially when you have only enough health where you start to kill your
skid marks. Oh yeah, that's true. I do that regularly. But like I say, as long as you get skid marks off you, you're fine. Oh, DJ.
Andere Richtung.
Ja.
Okay. Fountain. Am Brunnen, Leute. Großer Brunnen.
Kleiner oder großer?
Not seen any scores yet. Let's have a look.
Oh, fuck, ich wurde schon weggeholt hier.
Yeah, he's back.
Ich hasse dieses Spawn.
Yeah, someone's coming out of the store now.
Oh, playing the perimeter game. 23-8 at the minute.
Yeah, I think
holding.
I think Doom is true in his statement that sometimes you don't give yourself enough credit. You are you're an outstanding player.
And behind us, from the museum.
Sometimes when you're
I have my moments.
I have to say, like in Publix, it can be rather difficult when you have brand new players, right? Like we've been talking about how there's a whole new scene of players coming in from young to old, and they're level 1s, level 2s, sometimes even in their 20s. but they just don't know the game as well. And it doesn't matter how good of a player you are. If you don't have a team to help out, I mean, I went up against a Kuksa the other day, and I was getting frustrated, understandably so, because I'm with a team that they just, I hate to say it, and I'm sorry to anyone who's watching it, but they were deadheads. They just had no idea about rotations, where they needed to sit up or sit and perch. And it was me against an entire team, and I kept getting picked off. I was like, oh. So it's like one person cannot carry a team. So, you know, if you find yourself in a position where you're like, man, I know I'm good, but like, why am I failing here? Well, you also got to think team composition. You know, do you have a team that supports? Do you have a team that's contributing? If not, you know, that could be part of the problem.
It's like anything else. I mean, I remember when I first came into the beta back in 2020, and I thought, what the fuck have I just signed up to here? Because it was just fucking chaos. It was. I mean, I think the word you've just said was frustration. Oh, just
composition.
No, it was two words put together. Frustration. You were crushed. It was like crushed frustration. Frustration. Oh, anyway, castration. But it was like it was awful. It was like, what the hell am I signing up for here? It was absolute chaos. But over time, you know, if you stick with it, like anything else, you find your rhythm, you find your mojo, and then it becomes, like I say, second nature. Like with anything, like, you know, your muscle memory kicks in and what have you. And that's even before I used the dildos. I mean, I really ran the aim control. It was horrendous. It was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
because it's absolute madhouse. And it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Especially on a house when everybody went crazy. The original
old house with the and the grenades. When you could spam grenades like bullets. It was hilarious.
There was no delay. There was no delay in the grenade throwing.
And you could throw them before you died. That was the thing that used to piss people off. It was like spam grenades out before you died.
Yeah,
which used to get on everybody's nerves. It's like, how can you throw a grenade when you're dead? I'm too quick. Wallop. You just throw 2 grenades before you even died. It was.
I know a skill that gets on everybody's nerves. And that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
Well, this match is really close. 75 to 76. I think are pretty darn close. So
nothing in it.
Can't say this is leaning towards one team or the other.
Good chance this is going to go to the timer rather than to the 200.
That's exactly what you want to see as well. 3-point difference here in favor of Raining Havoc. They have a slight lead, but it is in the possession of the German Grandpas. As that point is red, try to move in. They got the point retook. Now it's maintaining control. This is dangerous because there's already residual fire from when the German Grandpas were on it, and it really limits the amount of space and protection that you can actually get while going in and retaking the point.
So that's the, like I say, you were saying about the using the actual Molotov. Like I say, sometimes you are actually minimising the surface area of the actual point, because you know, you plonk something there, you're like, oh Christ, I'm going to jump over it or I'm going to go around it, which takes time. You can get picked off, you're not in the zone, so you know, they can be used very creatively.
And unlike in Counter-Strike, which if anyone's familiar with that game, you can typically put out Molotov flames with smokes. In this game, you don't really have to worry about that too much. So if you want, you can always run a Molotov and a smoke, and you can somewhat hide the flames. I've played with it a little bit in Publix, and it does work. You don't really pay attention to it too much. So you can do a little bit of masking there, which is not so bad.
That's a good idea. Not only covering your actual teammates' location, but actually covering the flames as well. Take note, boys and girls. Take note. He's giving away trade secrets.
Yeah, you just have to be mindful. Like, is it going to be beneficial to your team? That's the reason why I ran it in Publix, to test it out, see if it's actually helpful. And so far, I haven't gotten good enough. I haven't gotten good enough with it to really find it viable in a competitive scene.
Well, the problem you've got is if you're in Publix, you're not going to have the perimeter protection, are you? Like you do if you're playing as Paragon. So, at the end of the day, they're not switched on to understand what you're trying to achieve. So, it probably will work once you get your teammates on that wavelength.
Yeah. We see a really good
push and
a good back and forth here. What is this? 119 119. So
POD's just absolutely smashed it with the Sterling. Friggin'
I love this gun.
I love it. No, I don't think I have actually. I don't think I have.
It doesn't. A lot of people complain it doesn't have a sight or anything on it, and the only thing you can really attach to it is a bayonet. But I tell you, especially if you're running with a stock like a Pro Tube, by the way, Pro Tube VR, great piece of equipment.
It's a hip fire. It's a hip fire gun. It's a hip fire gun.
It really
is. I don't even bother. Like in D-Day, I don't even bother looking down the sights. I just hip fire, and this gun's perfect for it. This and the Trauma.
And the upside to the Sterling, which a lot of people may not be privy to, is it doesn't really have any damage drop-off over distance. You can hit someone in the desert at its longest range, and it still does the same damage as if you're up close. I've tested
and the recoil's low as well. The recoil is really low on that. It's a lot less than the Viper, a lot less than the Pro. It is a very, very stable gun. You've just got to master it like any other gun. You've just got to get with it. It might not be everybody's cup of tea to start with, but just stick with it.
Yeah, it's a great
learn its limitations as well as its benefits.
Well, it looks like Raiding Havok are looking to take this back. It keeps flipping over to the German grandpas. They're pushing from the tunnel side, and it's working in their favor. Now, oftentimes you'll hear people don't push up there because there's someone bound to be behind the police cars. In hardpoint, I guess it doesn't really matter too much as long as you get enough firepower on there. Not just the firepower, but also like mollies and stuff. There's a good chance you could retake.
This is it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I say if you've got you've got the double grenades or whatever, swapping between the two, then yeah, it's. I don't think I can actually run hardpoint without having at least 2 grenades on me.
This fire is.
Ooh, man, oh man, Token.
Oh yeah,
blinding himself.
Oh yeah, fighter. Get some of that. Oh, is that 154, 142? Oh. Seat of the pants, seat of the pants. This is going to go to the wire. Absolutely. Oh. Germans.
I mean, they're both teams are so close to that 200 mark, man. It's like, how much time is left on the clock? That's one thing that we really don't have any.
We don't know. No perspective. No.
Come on,
you don't even get a minute. You don't even get a minute timer, do you? It just ends.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the clock on your UI, which is the wonderful thing about Alvo, is you can actually turn on and off just about every bit of UI that's available.
If it's on your wrist tablet,
yeah, you'll be able to see it. And it looks like German Grandpas win 143 to 172, and they're going to close the first half with at least what we know of 2 wins.
Okay, so I'll host the room for the second half.
Wowee. That one was close. I'm not going to lie. I think this is a little bit closer than I anticipated. I kind of had a feeling that, I mean, the search and destroy was pretty one-sided. That was a 6-1 runaway. But this hard point was much closer than I anticipated. I could have sworn
it went to the clock. I mean, any game that runs out the clock is close.
Right, exactly.
Because there's that momentum shift is not obviously one team who's holding that any longer than anybody else. It is literally you're in, we're in, you're in, we're in, nobody's in, contested.
Yeah, so, and I could have swore if I had to bet, which I'm not a betting man for obvious reason, my luck is piss poor. But when it comes, if I were a betting man, if it came to making a choice, I would have heavily favored German Grandpas to easily take this. But what I can say is that I did not anticipate that scoreline. I did not expect it to be that close. So kudos to Raiding Havok for keeping it that close.
Yeah, I mean that's like I say again. If they're running on a confidence and obviously got a positive mindset, just go in there and say, look, whatever happens, but don't lose your rag, don't get on top of your mates. Just work as a team, play as a team, and then obviously you win as a team. So,
now, I usually use this halftime as a plug, but since I already did it in this stream, I'm not really going to do it again. But I do want to speak a little bit more to the ProTube VR. I did get a couple of messages. I did get a few messages from people giving me their essentially their opinion summary on the product. And I hope these are genuine because at present, every one of them has been positive, and there have been no complaints. Now, I mean, like I said, I don't preach anything that I don't believe in. I absolutely love the products that I use, from Rep Sports products to the ProTube products, to Gaming Synergy. Everything that I promote is something that I believe in, and so I wouldn't suggest this to anyone. I did try another product. It was like a off-market kind of brand of Pro Tube. It was very similar, but it was static. It was a static bar, and then it had 2 bases that you could slide up and down and rotate, right? But that was about it. It didn't really have much else. So
I think Dive has got something similar to that he uses on the Quest. It is literally a piece of pipe, 2 clips, and that's it. It just basically mounts that as a thing. There's no stock or anything. It just gives them that MP5 sort of stock element.
And the nice thing about the mag tube is that it's got 3 adjustable joints, and you can adjust them to fit your comfort level. And then you can also adjust it because they were heavily supporting Onward. For anyone who knows what that is, they won the TDM. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Nice.
They heavily supported Onward, and Onward has so many. They have so many different weapons that you could. They designed the Pro Tube so that you can adjust it to that specific weapon if that was your primary weapon.
Oh.
And so it felt like you were really holding it. Now, I personally have it adjusted to just like 1 comfort level, and I use that for everything. Even with the P90, like as long as I grab it, I can put my hand where it is, and it helps with my aim. That's all that I care about.
It feels like 1-to-1.
Yeah, I mean, it feels as close to 1-to-1 as I could possibly get it. But I set it up for comfort. Now, if you're like someone who wants to just run the P90 and P90 only, you can adjust everything to accommodate that feel. So it feels exactly like where you're grabbing in a virtual space. But Pro Tube does more than just have this fantastic mag tube setup. They have things to like what you had just spoken of, where it's just a simple bar. That's it. There's no buttstock or anything. So if you're just looking for a little extra stability, they have that available as well. They also have hand straps, which I have for my Quest here, actually, because I got cups. By the way, every single cup you can get for a controller, it all runs this. It works for every stock that you could get, whether it's that bar or whether it's the mag tube or the force tube or what have you. They're all interchangeable. You can use it. You can use all these products for whatever. Like, for example, my mag tube, like I was mentioning, I was going to get a force tube. I could literally just buy the force tube attachment and put it on my existing stock. I don't have to go and rebuy a stock. And that's what's so great about Pro Tube is that if you want to upgrade what you have, you could just buy the upgraded item and use it with your existing equipment. So it seems pricey, and I understand that, but they are based in France. And I will say, after having had to ship items out internationally, I can understand why it costs so much. Wow. Just saying. So if it seems a little steep, go into this purchase understanding that you will likely never have to replace one of these items. And if you do, their customer support is fantastic. I have a person that I speak to, a rep. Obviously, I don't have any promotional codes, but they support esports, just period. And they were willing to support us as well to a degree. And they like our stuff and yada, yada, yada. But there's someone I speak to, and they are super responsive, man. Like, customer service is phenomenal. And that is what's going to keep customers coming back. Their website is easy to follow. They have different colors for certain items. And by the time the PSVR 2 rolled out, they already had these cups designed on their store. So they're very, very quick with the new technology. So I highly recommend it. If anyone wants to have a little bit more stability or realism in their game, I would totally check it out. And if you're into something like Pistol Whip, for example, and you're like, well, how does this apply to games like Pistol Whip? They actually have a force tube type attachment just for the pistol itself. So you stick the controller in it, and it's in the shape of a pistol, and it's wonderful. So definitely check them out. We originally did shell, but there was an expiration. There's a lot of confusion on that end on my part, since I'm so new to their company in that regard and the business end. But that was very limited, and they don't technically put out promo codes for.
Well, I've got an idea. I'm just over the channel from France, so if they want somebody to go over and have a word with them and maybe test a few of their devices, and maybe come back with some, some
Come on,
offers or
Hex.
whatever. I'm up for that. Put my name down.
I might have to send your ass over there. I'm going to send you with all these comments too, because when I'm doing so, part of the reason why I had brought it up is because people have
print them off. Print them off. I'll hand deliver them. I will drive to wherever they are in France, hopefully the south of France because it's warmer down there, and I will hopefully Monaco. If they live in Monaco, even better. I can watch the Grand Prix or whatever, and I'll knock on the door and say, "Hello, I'm a respectable representative Alvo. Can I have a word, please?" They'll say, "Fuck off."
They probably. My hope is that they wouldn't say that, but but you never know. You never know. But I would like to have the words of new customers who have purchased the items, who are representative of this community, because this Alvo wouldn't exist without the community. And I want to stress that. Like, it was literally the community that kept it alive, and allowed it to get to the stage that it's at. So I want the comments from the community who have purchased these items and are confident in the product itself to give me some of the, some of their thoughts about it. And I want to compile them and actually send it to ProTube, see if we can get their attention a little bit more. Cause I think it's important that they expand their interest beyond titles like Onward and Pavlov and Contractors, which they very often tout on their website. In fact, you will see advertisement for those games, and I'd like Alvo to be one of them. It'd be very beneficial for the IP and be very beneficial for the community. So if you have those testimonials, please do DM me them. A couple people already have, and I appreciate it greatly.
No, definitely worth. Like I say, this community long term. I remember when I was in the beta, got me through the lockdowns, like back into 2020 and 2021. Without the community, it would just have been awful. But the community, spirit and the quality of people within the community, phenomenal. And long may it continue. Long may it continue. Because, like I say, this community is basically second only to family. Simple as.
Now, I have a question for you, Mick. When you joined beta, oh my God, this again? Come on. Stupid links. When you had joined the beta, was the mobility the same as it is now? In other words, you had the running, or you had the proning, the sliding, and all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was all there. Yeah. So physical movement of the players is virtually not changed one bit. Animations have, because obviously some of the animations were really quite a thing. The only thing which changed, I'll tell you one thing which did change, which did upset a lot of the move players, is that when you move your head more than 40 degrees to the right, you slow down. Which wasn't apparent if you weren't using the move controller. It didn't happen on the DualShock, it didn't happen with the aim. And I know me and Slow used to kick off big time about that. Why are you slowing down? But I think, again, there was a limitation with the movement of the physical, the net coding. So it made us look like we were running backwards or forward. It didn't look right.
You guys were sprinting in ways that a person should not be able to sprint. The movement was just...
We were bionic. We were bionic.
I mean, if they could have accommodated that across all platforms, I would have said, "Hey, keep it in," because that's a unique. The speed in this game is such a unique factor. You don't want to, reduce that to any degree that kills the vibe. But when we had played against you guys, it was impossible movement to compete against.
We were like ninjas, and I suppose that was the reason. I say a lot of the reason of bringing that in, but that was the only change. Other than that, like I say, the sliding was in, the crouching and prone, all there from day dot.
Now the reason I had asked was because it was right before it entered beta that I recall certain movement mechanics in the game were added. I had started helping with the game before there was even a prone, before there was even a slide.
Right.
And the game played very differently. Even the speed was about just, how fast Firewall is? Like when you sprint?
Yeah.
Like
that was not, is it? It's a fast walk.
Right. But that was the speed of this game. That was it. And there was it was very different feel. So the significant changes by adding the jumping, which was a late feature, the sliding, which was a late feature. Those two things, they were literally late features. Right before it went into beta, those were added. And I remember you could slide a mile, dude. You could literally slide all the way down the street, the main street in town. It was crazy. But like those were like late features right before it went into beta. And then those were obviously adjusted. So like some of those movement mechanics were changed. But I just remember when this game was so different. And people don't recognize the changes it went through. We even have Doom in here saying, remember when there was no jump stamina drain? Yeah, 100%.
No stamina. No stamina. No. Yeah, that was a later addition.
And the same with infinite ammo. You like literally had infinite ammo because there were no ammo boxes. Now there are ammo box drops. So if you want to have
No, they were. No, they were.
Oh, yeah, there were.
There was unlimited ammo drops, but you can only have it now as a particular perk.
Right, and that's what I'm speaking to. Is like now you don't have unlimited ammo, unless you actually have that perk. So like it was a crazy time for Alvo before the perk system even went in. But the landscape of this game is so vastly different from when it released.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god, it's unrecognizable, mate. Absolutely unrecognizable. And that's testament to not just the community, but the feedback from Discord, feedback from obviously Steve and Sean and all the rest of the guys. I mean, like I say, a lot of these guys were doing this. Sean wasn't even full time.
Nope.
But he was doing this. He was working as a mechanic on a bloody theme park, fixing go-karts. Before Steve, after the game had been released, he then got brought on full time. So, this was Steve had to beg, steal and borrow from family members to get this project off the ground. So, and as we've seen in, over the last few months, it's a precarious landscape for the gaming community, or media in general. Films, TV, even music, unless you're Taylor Swift, of course. That reminds me, Super Bowl's on.
Yeah, in a couple of hours, yep.
I'm not bothered. I'm going to bed. I don't like American football. Sorry.
It's okay. I don't watch traditional sports. I'm not the typical guy.
But like you say, media in the whole is going through a transition. We've come out of the pandemic free for all because everyone was at home and buying consoles and media, and everyone was on Netflix. Blah, blah, blah. Now obviously that's now become secondary again. And the drop-offs come, so unfortunately, it is affecting all forms of media. So, hopefully, the gaming industry will keep strong.
What are we doing for next match?
Before we get back to play-by-play action here, I also wanted to point out that the avatar skins, which are wonderful, and we're going to be getting one hopefully in the near future, a new one. The way this game was originally designed was to have fully customizable avatars. Unfortunately, they ran into significant problems, particularly with the IK, which resulted in them going with these type of avatars, which you can't really change or whatever. You just have to select one. But it's nice that they have a variety of different ones, and they're going to keep adding them, especially after the Steam release. But yeah, again, just so if you guys are interested, like there's so much. If you go back, I know on my channel I've been streaming since the very first launch day on PSVR 1. You guys can go back and see what it looked like then and how different it was and what was originally.
I nearly did a full 24-hour stream that day.
Did you?
Yeah, I started 12 midnight UK time. I think I had a tip sometime in the afternoon. Came back and finished up until 12 o'clock the following day. Please let me do this because I've been helping the guys out and I want to promote this game. So
that was even before the rank system was in place.
Oh god, yeah, that was not even a thing. It was literally just turn up and hit the numbers, hit as many numbers as you can. And unfortunately, the servers went down, didn't they? Because we couldn't play against each other because unfortunately the servers went down because there was a big hoo on it.
Yeah, there's a big hack on the
FTE and FTE and bugging up our servers and all that. There's a big
Yeah, I
so we
remember
could
when that
actually-
happened. Everyone was blaming like FCE, like they did this, they did this. It's like no, they did it. There was an attack on the Microsoft server.
And I will say, after day one, I was top of the
lead.
leaderboard. I was top of the leaderboard for at least 36 hours. So I'll take the win on that one. Yeah, they're all bots, unfortunately, but there were loads of people jumping in asking questions. You know, I had lots of you know, people like Petrifying Pumpkins dropped on, Decepticon, whatever. You know, these guys are well known in the VR community, and they're asking questions, and they were, you know, loads of people did. You know, it
was great.
How did the guns feel? How do you set up the controllers? I said, well, obviously going through all the bits and bobs regarding. Still, I think the best offset settings available on any VR game.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, the offset settings in this game are ridiculously good. I mean, every game really needs to do that. Looking at the scoreline here, 83-72, German Grandpas. It was really close there. I just want to point out, like, it was really close. It was like 65-61. Not like within 1 minute of this game, or that round closing out. It was within like 4 points. And then within that last minute, German Grandpas just went off, and they were able to accumulate a lot.
Interesting choice with Pit, though. First time I've seen Pit being used in league play. Again, I'd like to see people using Pit instead of Monastery. I think Monastery, great if you want to obviously boost your numbers, but not for team play or for league play. It's a nightmare. It doesn't show any skill whatsoever. It's just basically run gun. But I think Pit takes Monastery, and then it just takes it to a completely new level because it's so diverse.
Well, I think the upside to Pit is that unlike any other map, and I consider this an upside, like a positive for it, is that there really isn't a good way to call out any position in this map. It really does force a complete battle royale, regardless, because even the spawns, like your entire team can be on one half of the map, but if the other team is pushed up far enough, it's going to force a spawn on the other side, and now you're going to be behind your opponent. So you really have to pay attention to what you're doing, and going down into the middle, playing outside the containers is incredibly risky. But I've seen people be very competitive in that sense. So it's a good map in some ways that there really is no call out. So you can't sit in one particular spot and give good comms. And it also forces a lot of engagement. But it's a bad map in a lot of ways as well for competitive play, because if you're on team deathmatch, like sure, it's great. But like that's all it's available for is team deathmatch. You can't do hardplay. You can't do search and destroy. So
you can't do search and destroy on it because it's just pointless. Everybody's pointless. There. Yeah, it's like, well, where do we go? Oh, we'll all go here.
Now the only way that you can make this game viable as an objective-based game mode, or for an objective-based game mode, is like King of the Hill, where there's one spot and you keep contesting over that. But you know, unless something like that is put in, which by the way could be a mod. Hint, could be a mod. Unless you do something like that, it's not really viable. Now, I know we as Paragon, we ended up having Pit early on in the season because the way we're selecting maps we're not even selecting game modes this way, but just maps. We have this wheel, this random wheel. So then Puddle spins it 3 times, and then whatever maps we get, then we try to identify, okay, which one do we want to do for which game mode? And Pit came up once, and we ended up having to play it. And I do recall that we won, but it's, even if you're a dominant team, I think we were going up against Manamana, like, they're good at the map. So it was pretty darn close. So even if you have 2 teams that are distinguishedly different in terms of performance, just general performance, that lowers the skill gap significantly just by playing on Pit.
It does. Yeah. Well, it's like playing a home fixture, isn't it? You've got home advantage almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're using it to, if that's the area where you're going to, you feel the most confident, you're going to pick it. And like I say, going back to Monastery. I mean, I know I slag Monastery off because it's not a, I would say a map for technical, capabilities. It is purely reactionary based. And I know people love it because it gets their numbers up and gets them leveled up, which is fine. I understand that. But, competitive wise, it's not a map you would choose. I think anybody would choose to be competitive in a team-based game, especially Hardpoint or Especially not S&D, because S&D's a nightmare on that map. It's an absolute bloody shocking nightmare.
Team deathmatch on Monastery is one thing. Like it's pretty bloody, but when you get on hardpoint on Monastery, it's what the hell, man? What the hell?
Especially when you're down the bottom of the shaft where the yellow bridge is. It's fucking.
Oh my god! Right there in the cave. That's ridiculous. It's an absurd spot for a hard point. Veronica put in another good suggestion in chat. Capture the flag on pit would be fun. That actually could work.
Yeah. I mean, it works well on D-Day. I love it on D-Day. I love capturing the flag.
But on pit in particular, I think if you have it in the top container on each side, I mean, I think you'd have in your spawns being like obviously very static as opposed to fluid like how it is now. Yeah, it's static spawns. I think you'd have a very you'd have a game mode that's reminiscent of old Halo. You know.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. But yeah, capture the flag. I'm surprised that's not been mentioned before.
I think a couple of people have brought it up, but you know, adding. So this is a challenge with game design, right? How many game modes do you want? Alvo is set up to have every game mode that has been made. You know, like Domination, King of the Hill, Terrorist in what was that one?
ETT.
Yeah.
Terrorist in
the Trouble.
Terror Town.
Yeah, something like that, right? Trouble in Terrorist Town. Yeah. Capture the flag. Even what am I thinking of? The Battlefield one.
Gun game.
You have so many options for game modes, but in adding so many game modes, you also split the player base, and you run that risk. So, like, how many do you
always? Oh, Firewall was very, very adamant they wouldn't do, wouldn't it? They only wanted one mode, everybody in it. Thank you very much.
This frickin'. You know, what is this? I tell you, that link is always broken.
Technology, mate. We'll never catch on.
Okay, he's down. Does anyone know who is streaming for Raining Havoc now? Because I'm not getting his link. His link is not live.
I think because we told him we weren't streaming. I don't think they're that bothered. Bless him.
All right, I will be right back. Enjoy the show.
He's broken now. He's done a runner now, look. Now Titch isn't here, he's done a runner.
Komm die Treppe hier runter.
Anyway, who's in the chat anyway? Good to see everybody.
Und bleib stehen, nicht bewegen.
No problem, Vicky. Always happy to celebrate and win. I hope it's the first of many, sweetie. Keep going.
Ich habe noch keinen gesehen.
Okay. So we've only got Grandpa's view at the moment. He's
Reviven die gerade da.
Reviving teammates. Can't tell if they are on the attack or are they on the defense.
Einer schon im blauen Container.
Bit like me, I'm always sat on defense. Blauass, how you doing, fella? Good to see you, young man. Hope you're long and strong. We were talking, we're talking about Veronica's use of the use of the sniper scope, Vicky, to actually looking at nooks and crannies. That's something that you guys have been working on, been using to advantage rather than use it as a weapon. Just use the actual sight as an extra, you know, use it as a binocular to see if you can see. Because we noticed on this map that V was using it a hell of a lot to look for the nooks and crannies. So we thought that was a very, very good use of using the secondary.
Especially if you're not going to get a shot off or anything. Like, yeah, I agree. Using it as a scout item, you know. As snipers.
I thought it was great using binoculars, yeah. You haven't got binoculars, so what can you use as binoculars? Stick a 16-time scope on, job done.
Because snipers in real life, they have a spotter, right? Like they typically have someone who's next to them as a spotter. So it's kind of like what you're acting as in a lot of ways.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, if you're not on the cameras, what can you do? You can use your equipment to your advantage. So no, I can't fault that. That's a very, very good.
Come on, Vicky.
Use of the secondary.
Give us those secrets. Come on now.
She's from Manchester. She won't bloody understand.
Air
Einer
your
ist bei mir
dirty
oben,
laundry,
Spezi, einer hat
dear.
mich gekillt.
No, that's
Er ist aber
Scouse.
runtergesprungen, glaube ich.
Scouse.
Er ist runtergesprungen.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of
Er ist von der Brücke
Oasis.
gesprungen.
Now then.
Andy,
Nope.
Spezi vielleicht.
Wie viele sind noch übrig? 5, ne?
Andy, bleib mal jetzt da, wo du bist. Nicht weiter rumkriegen.
If anyone has an alternative perspective or alternative stream for rating Havok, if you could please share it, that'd be great. Because I only have one person's and they are not live.
Ah, Schande! Nein, hab mich erwischt.
Alle vorm Eingang. Alle vorm Eingang von diesem zweiten wir sind alle tot. Ja,
Wir sind alle tot.
Yeah, I think we didn't give them a heads up, did we? I think if they just...
Ganz langsam gespielt.
Because I think they knew they weren't going on
Ja, ich weiß
on the commentary hour, it's probably not been that forthcoming. I think it's just... It's not a real league rule, they have to put a stream in, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, it's more so... oh man, looks like Raining Havok took that one. The reason for it is primarily because if there's any kind of concern,
issues,
any disputes
you can be
that are
reviewed by the
raised,
chiefs and stuff. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, we need multiple, because like, yeah, you could say, well, one team is streaming it, so why do we have to? Well, because we need multiple perspectives. If it looks different on your end as opposed to your opponent's end, then we need to be able to see it, you know. So I know it sucks. It's very frustrating to have to do, especially if you don't have the equipment to do it. Ooh, Weiser just seeing him at the last second. He does go down though, and he's putting himself out in an exposed area. I don't know how much
Yeah, he's not...
is.
I think he's trying to get to Mario, but Mario's been
so like, but I understand like people have technical limitations at times, so I try not to stress it too much, and I don't want there to be any significant penalty. As effort was made, we got yeah, we got the majority of the game from their perspective. So
yeah.
I'm not going to give them
Worst case scenario, anyway. I mean, obviously, I'm depending on which guys are using what platform. I know, obviously, with PlayStation, you can set a record up to. I think I've got mine set to an hour, if needs be. If I want to do a full thingy. So, yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna. Wicked Curves just put a comment in. I think in order to kill good teams on Monastery, take skill. True, obviously, because you got to. There are places like she put there. There's certain spots on Monastery. If you control them properly, you can murder everybody. You can absolutely down on the stairs in front of the far side of the chapel. If you run up down there all the time and you get a good run on, you can just murder anybody from there. So. But yeah, I mean, Monastery, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a numbers game. People don't go on desert because you can only get like 12 kills. But that's not the point. The idea being is you got to test yourself. If you're a one-trick pony, then the game's going to get boring quite quickly. So, I wasn't a big fan of S&D before I came and played Alvo, and I love S&D and I love Hardpoint. These are games I would never play, online in Call of Duty or anything like that. I used to hate them, bloody hate them. But now I'm addicted, absolutely addicted. So, games like Firewall, games like D-Day, stuff like that, and put Capture the Flag on and stuff like that. Great times. Great times.
Oh! What a headshot! He had him pinned down at that blue container like a boss, tagging him left and right, keeping him at bay, and then he peeks his head around the corner.
Don't you wish you could have, Sniper Elite replays on that? Because that'd be awesome. Just to see that repeated. That's a great shot. Just take some doing with the sniper, I've got to be honest. It's a skill I can't master.
Me neither, man. Even with the Pro Tube, I just suck with the weapon.
But there are people who actually just, in any form of games, be it flat up, VR, absolutely rock with sniper like it's an absolute beast.
Daft, I feel, is like one of those players, right? He can hop on Call of Duty, he can hop on Alvo, he can hop on any game that he plays, and he's a master.
Yeah, but he's got 8 arms though, hasn't he? He's got 8 arms, 20 fingers. You know what I mean? And he's got 1 finger on every button. No problem. Boom, boom, boom. Bless him.
Ist tot, ja.
Well, this this particular matchup is a little bit closer. I mean, Reigning Havoc are falling here. I mean, this one goes to German Grandpas for sure. But they were able to steal one away, which I guess one could say that suggests that it's doable. But we'll have to wait and see. Reigning Havoc now down by 2. That sniper though, man, he used it for more than what we were suggesting. He definitely got a beautiful shot off there.
Yeah. Him and Mental Man, they were the two that just could absolutely just run around, bounce around and go, bing! It's like, you managed to do that.
That was another thing that changed, speaking of things that changed in the game. Remember when there was a red dot on the sniper and it was a 1-shot, 1-kill? Regardless where you hit?
I used to I think I got into trouble with that. I used to run around with a laser and a red dot. It was awful. I think first day, I remember Bin Man Des, he roasted the shit out of me about that, and I said, you know what, you are right. I'm not going to complain. It's stupid to have a laser and a red dot and a 1-shot, and you can run round as quick as he. The thing is, you can also run round as quick as with that with a pistol as with the bloody sniper. And the bloody thing was so long, it got its own zip code. When you put the bayonet on it, it got its own bloody zip code. It was about 14 foot long. It was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, I know a lot of people complain about taking the red dot. I think also the 1-shot 1-kill was just people running around with it in monastery, just like you use it as a handgun. It was just like, couldn't keep up. So, obviously, there's been sort of changes. But I think the time to kill and stuff like that has always stayed pretty stable. I think. There's been any changes on the time to kill. Which has always been a very solid point. I've never had an issue. I mean, people say, "Oh, I've got shot round the corner." I says, "Well, technically, there is going to be a slight delay as as the person on one end of the internet is going to transmit that information. You might think you got shot through a wall, but you just have to take that as it is what it is. Until you're in a same room, all on the same LAN, you're never going to get that absolute perfect millisecond. Kill time.
Yep.
But like I say, the time to kill, I think, is stable. There's enough time to get away from places. Oh, has he got him?
He got him down.
God.
It took a couple of shots to get there, but he got him down. Oh, and he finishes him off, too. What a brilliant shot. He had literally, like, only a couple of pixels there to shoot at.
Yeah, it was literally...
Can he pick him off here? Can he get him in the knee? Oh, he's got to reload. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, they got him up. Oh, he dropped him again? This sniper action is superb. All right, everybody clip it. Oh, they found him on his sniper's perch, and he's in the downstate.
Yeah,
and no one there to revive, but that's okay. He put in the work, put in the damage. Spezzy,
he did enough.
Looking to try to close things out here. No, he gets dropped along with Mario, and this leaves Bamblebee and Andy.
Ey, das sind noch 4 am Leben von denen. 4 Stück.
Okay.
Einer revived hier gerade am... Einer
revived plenty of players in the mix here, which the full 3-2 now.
And the bomb has been planted too, so realistically, they're only defending the bomb site. Andy goes down.
Oh, Andy's gone. They've done it. Wow. Did enough. Did they not even go for the bomb?
Did Bamblebee just eliminate all of them in one fell swoop? What happened? Because there I see Andy go down. I could have swore there were plenty of people up, and then all of a sudden they're just all dead. Well, I don't.
I'll have to recap that one.
Don't know what happened, but well done, German Grandpas. Jeez,
yeah. Clutch finish.
Einer kam reich am Double Down bei mir, Spezi. Double Down. Die Bombe liegt auch hier.
Komm her. He's close enough to be got, sure.
After
in that container, but he's definitely
einer ist in front of euch. Noch einer. Wir waren hier zusammen, das war nicht so gut. Die sind alle in
obviously Mary just been took out.
Die letzten beiden. Und noch einer ist vom Balkon gegangen.
Oh, nice.
Sehr gut.
And there it is, another 6-1.
SND überstanden.
That was quick.
Just like in the first half. Yeah, see, here's the thing, dude. Every person on Reigning Havoc was eliminated, though. And I think, if I recall correctly, German Grandpa was on the offense. So they had planted in pit. Andy was controlling from the top, and Bamblebee was controlling from the opposite end of pit. And something happened where Andy was taken out, and then all of a sudden, everybody on Reigning Havoc just died. I unless there were more members eliminated than what I thought, but man, oh man, that was.
I didn't see any down. I didn't see any down members. And like I say, unless the scoreboard was lying, but unless he had a couple of good grenade throws in there as well, I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps
it all happened very quickly. Very quickly.
Well, we're going to be going to Hardpoint, our very last mode of the evening, and it's going to be on Veranda. Now, thoughts about Veranda? What do you think?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I just wish there were a couple of things like when you're walking across glass, you can shoot the glass and drop down. I'd love something like that because obviously, again, it's another tactic of dropping down onto places that don't have straight away an avenue of exit. Obviously, you can jump over things and you can jump around things, but I think the shooting of glass and making it breakable for you to drop down into other locations through a glass ceiling would be brilliant. But other than that, I think it's a fabulous map. I think it's got. I think I've played pool with Gabba about 6 times. I think I had a couple of games of table tennis with somebody else the other day. So, but no, it's a great map. It's a great map.
Yeah, I think it's some of these maps. Like I'll be frank, the industrial map and high rise. Those are 2 maps. So high rise is even though it's had its adjustments, it was pretty much something that they were able to find that on the store that they were able to implement, tweak a little bit to kind of fit the game, whatever. And industrial had a lot of already pre-made assets, but of course they had to rearrange it to make it the way it looks today.
Yes.
But Veranda was built from the ground up by Karen. I'm saying it wrong. No, I think it is Karen. It's just spelled differently than what I'm used to. Anyway, she built it from the ground up.
Is that our Karen?
No, not that
No.
Karen.
I was giving you a lot of credit there, Karen. Sorry.
That's the thing, Titch. I'm not entirely sure. But she built it from the ground up. I mean, I remember seeing it blocked out and everything. And at first, I was a little bit nervous because one of the original builds of it, when I was running through it, it seemed a lot of empty space. But obviously, at early builds, you're just making sure the layout makes sense. And from a player perspective, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how is this going to operate with the game modes that we have? And initially I was a little concerned, but as soon as they started putting in bits and pieces here and there, putting in new assets and designing different things, adding new ones, it just started coming together. And then I started seeing how it would play out for Search and Destroy and how it would play out for Hardpoint and Team Deathmatch. And I was like, this is going to be a staple in people's list of favorite maps. And so far, in competitive play at least, I can say this much, Veranda has shown up, I think, in every single matchup we've seen, at least once. And you can't say that about every map. You can't say that about Industrial. You can't say that about High Rise. You can't say that about House. Sometimes House doesn't even show up. But Veranda
it's
this season,
with Dojo, isn't it? I think Dojo Retreat. You'd put in that same sort of category, wouldn't you? And like you say, you look at Industrial and Factory. I mean, to be fair, to say that's an asset strip of Unity, they still look stunning, for what they are. And you've got to remember they were built before a lot of these guys were brought on full time. So the maps that will be coming, you'll see a massive, massive quality leap, not just in their looks but also in their location and their obviously their mobility around the map of what it gives you, what it doesn't give you, and learning the maps again. That's the important thing. They're not the same maps with a different splash of paint. They are different maps to test every player. So that's the important element.
And you brought up Dojo and Retreat, and I find it interesting that you brought those 2 maps up specifically and how they kind of fall in the same category as Veranda. the reason I find it interesting is because those two maps are actually the base layout for a couple of maps in Counter-Strike. So Dojo has the same layout as Dust, but it doesn't have like the difference is that what makes Alvo unique. Not only does it obviously look very different because it's Dojo versus like let's say a Middle Eastern like Dust Bolt kind of land setting.
Yeah.
The verticality and the different things that they have in Alvo, it just makes it so you play so uniquely different. But if you actually do an overlap of the two maps, you can see it's the same layout. So it's designed very similarly to the most popular esport, to one of the most popular maps and the most popular esport in the world. And Retreat is actually designed after a map in Counter-Strike as well, called Mirage. So you'll see the layout is the same, but again, it's got its own unique flair, its own unique like way of playing it. And when I watch both, because I do watch a lot of Counter-Strike esports, I see these maps come up. I'm like, there's no way in Alvo I would ever play the map that way. I just wouldn't. So like a lot of inspiration has come from other games, which is always nice to see, but it's got that unique flair. And again, Alvo is just so different in how it plays and the way the maps have been designed around those the groundwork just makes it so much different.
Fabulous. You can't argue with that, can you? I mean, like I say, Counter-Strike is the pinnacle of esports. So to be able to pinch some inspiration from that is no bad thing whatsoever. No bad thing whatsoever.
Now there's High Rise is very similar to another map in Counter-Strike called Vertigo, but the map layouts are not the same. They're like not 1-to-1, but the way that
you can see the
play
inspiration.
You could clearly tell, like, they wanted something similar to Vertigo in Alvo, and I think they had a good choice. It's just, man, I would not pick it for Search and Destroy or anything like that.
I just pick it for my Bruce Willis fetish. That's all, you know what I mean. Just for my diehard fetish. It's the closest I'll ever get to playing John McClane in any film. If I can run around a high rise and whatever. Okay, last game of the night.
Hardpoint on Veranda.
So, are the Germans going to get a clean sweep? Grandpa's 15-0 up. Can they make it the full sweep?
It'll be disheartening for reigning Havok for sure. But the way German grandpas have been playing this season, I mean, they're holding the title of most improved team, and they've taken it to another level. I mean, they truly are a team that has improved from one season to the next. I remember when they did the test league, they came out and they were decent, but they were still at the very bottom, right? And then in season 1, you just saw a complete change in dynamic of how they actually played, and that's carrying over into this season.
And now they've got the addition of Mario on board as well, just to get that extra bit of firepower, which maybe they were missing. That.
Yeah, I've noticed, as we all know, lots of screaming on this one with all the fire. Yeah, certainly. What I can say is, like, with Trauma not competing this season, they have a couple of the members have split to join some other teams.
Yeah.
We got Mental Man on one, we got Mario on another, we have Tally on another. Like they've definitely split. And I'm curious to know from those teams, has their addition to your team made a difference in the way you guys practice and or play? Because I genuinely am curious, can one team who is as successful as Trauma, if you take one of their members and put them on a team that maybe wasn't so successful, has it made a difference? And can that one player make a difference in that regard? I genuinely am curious.
Is it like bringing Tom Brady over to your NFL team? Has it been that much of a difference?
Right.
Have you learned things that these guys could probably interject, saying, "Well, why don't we try doing this? It worked for us for our team last season. But again, there's probably a lot of learning going on as well. Adapting to these guys and adapting to their play style. So it would be an interesting feedback to see what these additional players from Trauma have made. To these existing team members.
Well, looks like there is one member who has not yet returned for reigning Havok. But
I wonder why they were taking the time getting back into the game. They must be waiting for somebody. Unless his headset's gone flat. It's a question.
But the game has commenced and it's continuing, and they are still vying for control over the points, which does look as though German Grandpas have maintained the majority possession of. We'll see if that trend continues. This spot in particular is such a pain in the ass to either hold or push. I say it's more of a pain in the ass to push.
91-14.
That stairwell right up to barbecue, that's a death trap. Just don't go that way.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god, yeah. It literally is a it's a spawn to kill that one. It really is not a nice place to enter.
There are some decent ways to go up though. Like you can go up from the glass balcony. Like you don't have to go up these stairs.
Yeah.
You can go up from the glass balcony and go in from the fire pit area. Also, if you stack, like there's this patio out from the bedrooms up on the second floor here. You can actually get onto the top floor from there if you want to. All you have to do is stack.
Can you boost somebody up there?
Yeah, you can. There's enough space to actually boost someone up onto the third floor. You can approach from the hot tub region. So if you're like,
I have seen that on video before. I've never seen it in game.
Well, most people are just they're very focused on getting. Oh, they did lose two.
They dropped to 3.
Sometimes you're so focused on getting to the point that you lose perspective of like, okay, what's the better approach to take? And sometimes taking a little extra time to get a better angle is something that you want to spend and invest time in doing. And if no one's ever considered boosting at the bedrooms during hardpoint, to try to get to that spot, I encourage you to do so. It's a really good tactic to use, even if it gets 1 or 2 people up there.
Yeah.
We'll have
I think, like you say, because of the time element is obviously a killer on this one, isn't it? Because you've got to be, you're focusing towards that point, or even if you're just doing the perimeter, you've got to be in or around. So I think those few seconds can make a big difference. But if your team's capable of doing it and using it to an advantage, then it's got to be a killer move.
I don't know how they're going to play this one out, if they're going to replay it or not, because they did drop
one's returned.
Yeah. This is rough.
Will they need to replay it? Well, that depends on the captains.
Honestly, it's up to them because shots were already fired. Once gameplay commences, you got to finish the round, and then if there are concerns about something, then it has to be brought to the chiefs after the fact. But at present, they just gotta continue play.
Yeah, there's no chance you're going to, even with 4 against 5, it's bloody tough. One thing I do like about this map is the spatial audio for the when you go into the rooms with the TVs and stuff on the disco and stuff. That's quite nice stuff. It's you don't get that on any other map.
No, they added some elements to this map that weren't added in any other map, which, they have the live video the repeat video, but you have the newscast, and then you also have the physics that were added to some of the things here.
Yeah, I've seen that you can kick the blue ball about and stuff, yeah.
Good game.
It ended with 3. What's going on there?
You can have a rematch when you want.
I'm going to leave it up. I can't hear anything, but y'all can hear what they're discussing. So let us know in chat if what the decision is, if they're going to replay it or not.
Good luck. I hope they fix you. Maybe
I don't even know. I think it might be my internet.
Yeah, I mean, Veronica's just
100%
mentioned that
sure,
having
but,
mental on their
I
side,
mean,
is that with
every
their
time
training
my
and learning
internet seems to fuck up, it does
other
this shit. So
perspectives,
Ah,
it's the
damn.
only thing I could think of is my
which is, like I
internet.
say, it's another set of eyes,
Okay,
isn't it? You know,
and we
Stuck
fixed
in the
it.
when you
ground.
bring anybody
Few
from
times.
the
Lost our
outside,
tracking, but yeah, all good.
you
Good game,
just bring
guys.
that little bit of extra
Good
focus
game.
that you might not have seen through normal play. So, but yeah, I'm glad it's helping, V. That's the main thing. It's helping you guys to expand and explore avenues of strategy. That's great.
All right, so no replay. At least it was offered. Yeah, that was
Was
rough.
it? Okay.
Raining Havoc.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, I know that historically with their streaming, they've always struggled, and I hate to see that happen, man. That's definitely no way to end things.
No, it's a bit sad, a bit disappointing. But you know, like you say, if they've say given up the ghost, I mean, sometimes even in a situation like that, there's opportunities to learn. Mistakes have been made. Like I say to my guys at football, you know, mistakes are opportunities to learn. They're not just there to be moaned at and groaned at. So
Exactly.
you know, and that's one of my big you know, advocates that, like I say, it's not all about pointing fingers. You know, why point one finger when you can offer five, which is basically a hand up. So, you know, from my point of view, it's you know, you go to the last minute. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I don't know how this happened, but the moment you reached your hand out, your entire camera.
I've got, because I'm using broadcast. It's there you go. It's tracking me. Hold on.
That's brilliant. That freaked me out for a second. I was like, who is in control of your camera? My God.
Yeah, I've got. I pay a little man just there just to keep moving the thing. But no, the
where now, boss?
Yeah. When do we start doing OnlyFans? Not tonight, mate. Not tonight. Yeah. So I always say, from any point of view, even when you're getting stuffed, you know, like that, there's still opportunity. Look, let's try something different. You know, it might not work this time, but we can take it forward into our next training session. But you know, that's just how I look at things. But yeah, it is a bit disappointing when it just goes a bit sour like that.
Yeah. Well, German Grandpa's walking away with a 6-0 sweep over Raining Havoc. Hard fought match. A couple of them pretty close. I would say German Grandpas were pretty definitive on their search and destroy rounds. So anyone who is going to be playing them next week or even in the following weeks, because we only have 3 weeks left of regulation play, keep in mind their strategy and their skill in search and destroy, because that seems to be where they dominated most. Raining Havoc, best of luck in next week. Hard fought match, unfortunate loss.
Yeah, keep your heads up high, guys, because like I say, you know, it might be a turning point. You might go in next week and absolutely smash it, but you know, don't take this week's as a definitive display, because like I say, there were some close matches in there. It just, like I say, whatever happened at the end happened, but like I say, there was still a lot of competitive games in there. So you know, keep it up, keep it going.
For sure. Well, I guess we might as well close it out. Yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in and watching the show. We got a little bit of a double feature. Fortunately, the first match ended in just enough time where we caught most of the second match. Congratulations to the teams that won, Hacks and German Grandpas. Both great games to cover. Thank you so much for streaming them and allowing us to cast them. And for all those who tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in and sitting through this very long double feature. But hey, it was worth it. We got both of them in, and they were great watches.
We got there.
Now there was another match that was supposed to be scheduled for this week, but they, with enough effort, they tried to schedule it. Didn't work out. Fortunately, that match is still going to take place, though. It's going to be next week. It's going to be a Death Squad versus Menomina. So we'll get an extra. We might get an extra match in next week. It depends on the timing of everything. So be sure to tune in if you
real life always gets in the way, mate, doesn't it? Always gets in the way.
Yeah. And if you guys are not already following here on Twitch, be sure to hit that follow button and notification bell so that you're notified every time we go live. If you're over on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. It all helps the algorithm. Not only is it helpful for us as a group, but also us as a community and for the title, the IP itself. So it's very, very important. And while we're on the topic, starting tomorrow is the Firewall Ultra League. Do not miss out on this. Go over to twitch.tv/AH Commentary EU. That's where live coverage will be had. But of course, not all the games are going to be able to be covered by Amateur Hour. So be on the lookout in the Firewall Ultra category over on Twitch and see who's streaming it. Be sure to support all of them as they're going to try to keep the IP alive and show you some amazing competitive play in Firewall Ultra.
And there are some bloody good players in there as well. I'm test to that. Bloody hell. Again, needed another plastic surgeon to put my arms, face, and my arse back together because I got everything handed to me on that game.
But you have anything left to say before we head out?
Well, I want to know why Titch always uses his 5 fingers. I mean, mate, if you're going to put all your fingers in your mouth, what do you expect? You know, they don't call you Kit Kat for nothing.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us here on Amateur Hour Commentary and our presentation of the Alvo World League Week 4 match between German Grandpas and reigning Havok, as well as hacks and repeat offenders. Congratulations to the winning teams, and we'll see you guys here on the next one. But until then, later. Peace.
Love to all, everybody. Keep smiling. Keep safe. We love you all.
Just get out of here. Go do something now. Get out. Bye.
Bye.